Civilization Devours. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 326. All Out. Nuclear missiles flew one after another, raining down like arrows, and fell on the human base. Deafening explosions sounded, and flames swept everything. The extremely solid buildings that could withstand the strong winds could not hold up under this world-destroying power and exploded in an instant. In the various war zones of the human side, as soon as the explosions in one place subsided, another explosion began. Mushroom clouds rose, smoke rose, and the world was shaking. Houses, buildings, roads, and bridges were as fragile as paper and were easily wiped out, leaving only ruins on the ground. Report: the power supply has been destroyed. Start the backup energy. The artificial star has been destroyed, the light has dimmed, and the observation of the ground situation has been slightly affected. The satellite system was attacked by Haiyan domain, the signal has been cut off, and our satellite should have been shot down. We successfully shot down the satellite in Haiyan domain. Without satellite assistance, our strategic nuclear weapons are difficult to locate. Now turn on the inertial guidance device and target Haiyan domain. Start invading the network of Haiyan domain and conduct a paralysis attack. In the underground office, a group of technicians were busy. In order not to put pressure on them, Chen Mou did not go to command, but leaned against the wall outside the door, his face calm and silent. Governor. Zhao Menging walked over with a reluctant smile on his face. Yes. Chen Mou nodded, and his calm performance brought people an invisible sense of stability. From the Haiyan domain's attack to the current counterattack, Chen Mou did not command anything throughout the whole process, but just followed everyone silently and executed according to the system process. But even so, his existence is a reassurance, and the entire Northwest War Zone is running in an orderly manner. According to the images sent by some detection devices, our home is now in ruins. Of course, the situation in Haiyan territory should not be much better. Zhao Menging said. The strategic nuclear weapons ground-washing attack really had a ground-washing effect, and ground buildings were destroyed one after another. Even in such a situation, the nuclear missiles of both sides were still being thrown at each other, determined to achieve the effect that no building could survive. But I'm used to this situation. Buildings are built and then destroyed. When they are destroyed, they are rebuilt in a new place. Zhao Menging's face was as calm as a lake. She had been in war since she was a child, and she was used to this situation. Once you get used to it, you won't be sad. We will win the final victory, and then we can build a real home, a home that will never be destroyed. Chen Mou stretched out his hand, put it on Zhao Menging's head, and rubbed it gently. Zhao Menging frowned and slapped Chen Mou's hand away. When can we achieve the final victory? Even if we win this time, and even eliminate the opponent's forces, Haiyan territory may send new people. The power group represented by Lu Du and others is nothing in the entire Haiyan territory system, just a small part. It's hard to say, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. Chen Mou said. 15 years? You said 15 years. Zhao Menging's eyes lit up. 15 years is a long time, but if we can really win in 15 years and end this annoying war, Zhao Menging feels that he can hold on. If you can't end this battle within 15 years, then I, Chen Mou, am incompetent. Of course, it may not take that long. Chen Mou plans to be promoted to the realm of Domain Master within 15 years and sweep away everything. For ordinary people, it is almost impossible to be promoted to a saint within 15 years. After all, there is no saint under the age of 50 in Huaki country. But geniuses don't have to abide by this rule. The only purpose of records is to let people break them. As the intensity of the battlefield battles increased, the long-term life and death struggles forced out the potential of many people. Coupled with the supply of materials in the military merit system, the speed of promotion of the strong in the whole country was accelerating. Like Zhang Xingteng, it was actually possible to be promoted to a saint in his 40s, but unfortunately he was ambushed by Haiyan domain at that time, and was almost half-wasted in a battle. Promotion was naturally impossible. Listening to Chen Mou's arrogant words, Zhao Menging's first reaction was that the other party was bragging. But for some reason, she felt a little hope in her heart. Are you serious? Okay, don't ask, go to work. At Chen Mou's signal, Zhao Menging reluctantly entered the control room. Inside, the technicians were performing various operations according to the central instructions. Zhao Mengeng didn't need to help, and occasionally coordinated in the middle. The Qingyang domain launched an antimatter missile, mixed in with a nuclear bomb group, and blew up one of our warship warehouses. The technician received a piece of intelligence and was stunned immediately. The principle of energy release of antimatter missiles is similar to that of nuclear bombs, both of which convert mass into energy. But nuclear bombs can only convert part of it, while antimatter can convert 100%. Therefore, the power of antimatter missiles is much higher than that of nuclear bombs. However, antimatter preparation is very difficult and the quantity is small, so it is too extravagant to use it as a missile. The cost of an antimatter missile may be equal to the total cost of hundreds or thousands of nuclear bombs. Damn, Qingyang domain launched another antimatter missile and blew up another of our warship warehouses. The technician couldn't help but swear. How could Qingyang domain be so generous that it even threw 2 antimatter missiles? Where did they get so much money? The warships in the 2 warehouses were blown up before they took off. These warehouses are buried deep underground and could withstand the impact of nuclear bombs. But under the powerful power of antimatter, the entire soil layer was penetrated and the warehouses were completely destroyed. Forget it, we didn't lose. Although we lost so many warships, the price of their 2 antimatter missiles will never be cheaper than our warships. Wait? What's going on? Our base also launched 2 antimatter missiles and destroyed 2 warehouses in Qingyang domain. This launch order was directly issued by the Star-Lord's mansion. Where did we get the antimatter missiles? I don't know. Maybe the Star-Lord applied to the central government. The continuous bombing slowly subsided, and the strategic nuclear weapons of both sides seemed to have been destroyed. At this point, both bases were riddled with holes, the ground seemed to have been plowed, and there were ruins everywhere, a scene of ruins. It was detected that the warships of the Qingyang domain took off and were advancing towards us. Is it really going to be a full-scale decisive battle? We have received an order from the Star-Lord's mansion. All war zones will go out to fight. This matter still needs the decision of the governor. I'm here. Chen Mou strode in, notify everyone, and all the Northwest War Zone will go out. There is no retreat in this battle. Chapter 327? War. After the order was issued, the underground warship warehouses in each war zone were opened, and one warship after another floated into the air. In addition, there were rows of mechas following around and flying in the air. The meaning of all-out dispatch actually means that all combat readiness members are dispatched, including combatants with a realm above Miracle Division, as well as warship and mecha pilots. As for the technical personnel, they stayed in the underground control room, responsible for information acquisition and transmission, battlefield dispatch, rear fire support and other tasks. Chen Mou strode forward and walked from the underground passage to the ground. You. Seeing Zhao Mengeng also followed him out, Chen Mou hesitated for a moment. This battle was too dangerous, and Chen Mou might not be able to take care of the daughter of the Star Master on the battlefield. What's wrong? Zhao Mengeng said, I want to go with you too. Governor, you won't object, right? Okay, dispatch. Chen Mou waved his hand. On the battlefield, everyone is treated equally. Chen Mou can't make an exception for Zhao Mengeng because of her identity. Second command room. Hu Zhen was dressed in military uniform, tall and straight. Although there were a few strands of white hair on his head, it did not affect his spirit at all. He waved his hand, those who are above the level of Miracle Master, follow me. As soon as he finished speaking, a phone call came. The civilian communication equipment on the ground had been completely destroyed by the nuclear bomb, but the base had activated a dedicated wartime communication network. Hu Zhen frowned and took out his mobile phone to answer the call. The caller was Zhao Wenlin. Old Zhen, I'm ready to go out now. You stay in the command room and take charge of the rear command. Work with Deputy Star-Lord Shaq. Star-Lord, I'm just about to leave. Leave the command to old Shaq. I'll go to the battlefield with you. Hu Zhen said hurriedly. You don't need to say more. This is an order. Old Shaq is usually in charge of a different functional department from you. It may be difficult for one person to command. The two of you should perform your duties. You can communicate with each other when you encounter problems. After Zhao Wenlin gave instructions, he hung up the phone. Deputy Star-Lord Hu, what did the Star-Lord say? Asked a senior officer beside him. Star-Lord asked me to stay in command. It's really depressing. You guys go, I can't leave. Hu Zhen said. Yes. Seeing this, the officers gathered in a circle nearby agreed and lined up to leave. Why don't you go? Hu Zhen looked around and saw Hu Zhangking still staying here, not following the main force to leave. Dad, I always feel a sense of fear these days. This battle is too dangerous. Hu Zhangking was a little worried. Hu Zhen shook his head immediately. War is always dangerous? You are not talking nonsense. Don't say these things. Hurry up and don't keep them waiting for too long. Dad, since you are not going, then I will stay too. I can help command. Hu Zhangking said. Hu Zhen's face was serious. Are you trying to escape from the battlefield? I didn't. When did I not lead the troops in the past? But there must be someone to help command. Even if I don't go to the battlefield this time, I can still play a role. I have learned relevant knowledge since I was a child, and I am familiar with it. Hu Zhangking argued with his neck stiff. Hu Zhen's face changed, and after a long while he said, forget it, you have stayed here for so long, they may have left, then you will be responsible for the coordination work. Hu Zhangking heard this, his face was happy, and he quickly agreed. 10,000 ships set off at the same time, a black mass, covering the entire sky. These warships and mechas are controlled by professionals. Although there are automatic control programs inside, they are still not flexible enough and lack combat effectiveness. If it is a normal mission, using automatic control programs is harmless, but now on the day of the decisive battle, every bit of combat power must be used. Along the way, miracle masters and law scholars floated into the air and entered the ship through the hatch. This is the #1 observation platform. The Qingyang Domain warship group is at 17 degrees west longitude and 33 degrees north latitude, about 13,259 meters above the ground, and the moving speed is 5.2 Mach. Intelligence news came from the rear. 1 Mach is 1 times the speed of sound. Warship number 5 received it. Warship number 12 received it. Warship number 3 received it. This is the third command room. We now require all warships in the base to reduce their speed to 1.5 Mach and let the Qingyang Domain's warships come over a little. Fighting at home is to our advantage. The tactical nuclear weapons at each base are ready. Once the Qingyang Domain fleet enters the attack range, immediately concentrate fire. This is observation deck number 1. The Qingyang Domain warships are at 17 degrees west longitude and 2 degrees north latitude, about 13,251 meters from the ground, and moving at a speed of 5.2 Mach. This is observation deck number 1. The Qingyang Domain warships are at 15 degrees west longitude and 5 degrees south latitude, about 13,251 meters from the ground, and moving at a speed of 7 Mach. News from the second command room, the target has entered the attack range. Tactical nuclear missiles at each base have been activated to eliminate the Qingyang Domain warships. Compared with the general destructive effect of strategic nuclear weapons, tactical nuclear weapons are less destructive and have a shorter range, but they are more useful for surgical targeted elimination. Missiles flew away one after another, aiming directly at Qingyang Domain. Unfortunately, the warships in Qingyang Domain are too fast and extremely flexible, so missiles rarely hit them. Some missiles were detonated in mid-air, and the impact of the explosion overturned several warships. This is the third command room. The Qingyang Domain warships have increased their speed, and the base warships have increased their speed to Mach 6 accordingly. Don't let the other side get too close to our base area. After a period of driving, the dark warships dispersed and met in the airspace of the southern hemisphere. Miracle masters and law scholars jumped out of the warships one by one, and immediately fought without greeting. The battleship hatches were closed and the exchange of fire began. As soon as they met, several warships on both sides were hit and fell. Lu Du, come out for a fight. Zhao Wenlin's breath was vast for thousands of miles, and Fang Su rode the wind, and no one around dared to approach. Zhao Wenlin, you are rushing to die. Lu Du came with the power of heaven and earth, and the holy power was rolling. As soon as the two met, they were ready to fight for their lives, without any fancy moves. Are you Chen Mou? I'm here to kill you. In Qingyang Domain, a senior law scholar suddenly rushed out. A thought caused the world to change, and the killing intent covered the mountains and rivers for thousands of miles. He came with purple thunder, and his power was amazing. You are not good at anything, and you are the first to seek death. Are you in a hurry to reincarnate? Chen Mou's eyes flashed with cold light, and a punch shook the world. The senior law scholar of Qingyang Domain vomited blood and retreated violently. Chen Mou took action without mercy, and continued to follow up, hitting the opponent with heavy hands, and broke him into pieces in the sky. What kind of combat power is this? The strongmen in Qingyang domain were shocked, and several senior law scholars came out to surround and kill Chen Mou together. Chapter 328, Qingyang Territory's Hidden Card. Chen Mou fought with all his strength, gathering endless power with every move, almost cracking the sky. First, 5 high-level law scholars attacked together to kill Chen Mou, but were swept away by him alone. Seeing that the 5 were unable to hold on, 4 more high-level law scholars joined the battlefield. Qingyang domain has nothing but many strong people. The law scholar who was originally torn apart by Chen Mou tried his best to evoke the power of heaven and earth to repair his wounds. A minute later, he was mostly healed and joined the battle. 10 high-level law scholars came out together, with a mighty force of 3,000 miles. Kill. A man slid down from the sky with a sword, and the spiritual energy was violent and the law was pervasive. The awe-inspiring killing intent made the storm here stagnate, and space and time seemed to stagnate, only the bright sword light was eternal. Looking for death? Chen Mou went upstream, punching the world and shaking the gods and ghosts. He grasped the center of the world with one hand, and time and space flowed again. The storm god's power unfolded, and he hit the law instrument with his bare hands. When the two collided, Chen Mou's body did not move at all, but the man with the sword retreated more than 100 meters. Just as Chen Mou was about to chase, 3 more Qingyang domain strongmen came from the side. Die? Chen Mou stretched his fists and feet, and every move was like the arrival of the demon lord, fighting everyone. Above the sky, the flames of war were everywhere, and warships turned back and forth, making various tactical moves. While dodging the opponent's attacks, they were also waiting for an opportunity to open fire, striving to shoot down the enemy's warships. Mechas also collided with each other, sweeping across with firepower. In the human base, beams of high-energy particles swept in for fire support. 10,000 ships fired at the same time, and 10,000 cannons roared at the same time. This was a contest of equipment and technology, and also a confrontation of wills. From time to time, warships and mechas were hit and exploded, and the operators inside were completely destroyed. The power of heaven and earth was everywhere, and the battlefield between miracle masters and law scholars was equally cruel, and people died all the time. Lightning flashed, and one person turned into ashes. A sword came from the south, and the body of a strong man in Qingyang domain was torn apart. Seeing this cruel scene, not only the human side, but also the people in Qingyang domain who had a slight advantage were somewhat collapsed. Steady, don't panic, conquer them, kill them, and use their blood to commemorate our compatriots. A strong man in Qingyang domain shouted, Vasha! Vasha! The people in Qingyang domain roared and revived the morale of the army. Zhao Mungang frowned, swung his sword and slashed, and the lord roared. Comrades, behind us is our base and our compatriots. Even if the world is big, we have no way to retreat. Fight to the last drop of blood. Victory belongs to Huaki, and glory belongs to Huaki. Many strong men responded in unison, kill! Kill! Chen Mou also responded to everyone's determination with action. With a storm on his body, he suppressed 10 high-level law scholars alone. This performance can be called invincible under the saint. He alone restrained 10 people, which relieved a lot of pressure on the human side. Haha, my friend, your strength is really extraordinary. Let me meet you. With a chuckle, a person in the distance came at a very fast speed and arrived in front of Chen Mou in an instant. With a light palm strike, the whole world seemed to be held in his hand. Chen Mou's figure suddenly fell from the sky, pierced through the surface of the earth, and sank deeply for an unknown number of miles. The person who came was a middle-aged green-skinned man with an ordinary appearance. There was a faint smile on his face, as if he had just raised his hand and done something insignificant. The battle in the sky suddenly stopped, and everyone looked at the strong man who suddenly appeared, with a shocked look. Chen Mou's fighting power was enough to suppress 10 strong men alone, but a man from Qingyang domain who came out of nowhere, knocked Chen Mou to the ground in an instant, and his life or death was unknown. What realm is this? The morale of the human side suddenly dropped. The saint must be a saint. There are actually 2 saints in Qingyang domain? It's the Lord Yin Wu, he's here. Compared to the depression of the human side, Qingyang territory was extremely excited. Haha, the overall situation has been decided. I didn't expect Lord Lao to have such a trump card. Yin Wu looked around the sky, with a hint of sarcasm on his face. He has already controlled the whole situation. Saints cannot be called invincible. If they are hit by multiple strategic nuclear missiles in succession, they will also be injured. If they are hit by antimatter missiles, it will be even more dangerous. But now, all weapons have been used up. Zhao Wenlin has Lao to contain him. Qingyang territory still has the advantage on the battlefield. Now Yin Wu's joining can't be called the last straw that broke the camel's back. Because he is not a straw, but a heavyweight strongman who can crush the human side. The sky was strangely silent. Yin Wu was not in a hurry to take action. He wanted to let this invisible pressure permeate every human heart. He enjoyed this feeling of domination, and in this process, the morale of the human side would gradually decline, while the morale of Qingyang territory would be high. One rises while the other falls. In the second command room, Hua Zhangqing looked at the front-line scene and his face changed drastically. No wonder he was always so frightened before, and he realized that this battle was very dangerous. Now his premonition has come true. Qingyang territory actually hides the second saint. This deadly trump card is enough to make mankind lose miserably. Dad, let's leave quickly, take the warship to leave Liu Iant Star immediately, and go out to ask for help from the central government. Hua Zhangqing said anxiously. Hua Zhen's face changed. What do you mean by asking for help? Do you want to be a deserter? Dad, how could I be a deserter? But now the general trend cannot be violated. Qingyang domain is hiding too deeply. The defeat of the human side of Liu Iant Star is inevitable. We must preserve our manpower. Hua Zhangqing advised, let's leave now and go out to seek help from the central government of Ziji Star. We will come back one day, kill all the people in Qingyang domain, and regain our homeland. Bullshit. Hua Zhen scolded, do you really think I don't know what you are planning? It's too late to ask for reinforcements now. Once the base's defense line is broken, all civilians hiding in the underground air raid shelters will be killed. Hua Zhangqing roared angrily when he heard it. Then what should we do? Can't we die together? If you stay, it will only add one more military merit to Qingyang domain, and the outcome will not change at all. You stay just to seek peace of mind. My approach is right. Dad, don't be stubborn. Preserve your manpower. Hua Zhen wanted to continue scolding, but suddenly he sighed and collapsed on the chair. Maybe what you said is right. You go. Dad, you go too. Hua Zhangqing said. I won't leave. You go. It can be regarded as leaving a bloodline for our Hua family. Dad. Hua Zhangqing was anxious, and stretched out his hand to pull Hua Zhen to leave together. Go quickly. Hua Zhen stood up and pushed Hua Zhangqing away. Dad, if you don't leave, then I won't leave either. Hua Zhangqing hesitated. Go, I let you go. Hua Zhen ran over and kicked Hua Zhangqing out of the door. Remember, I let you go. It doesn't mean you are right, you are a deserter. Hua Zhangqing gritted his teeth, sighed, and turned to leave. Chapter 329? Haiyan Jue is dispatched. On the battlefield, the ground was surging. Chen Mou rose up in the astonished eyes of the crowd and stretched his muscles. Seeing that Chen Mou was able to get up as if nothing had happened after being hit by the saint, the human side was refreshed and rekindled their morale. The Qingyang domain was a little stunned, but then sneered. So what if he could resist a blow? Do you really think he has the strength to challenge the saint? What's more, Chen Mou had been fighting with 10 law scholars before. Now he has to face not only Yin Wu, but also those 10 strong men. Even if Chen Mou is strong, he can't turn the tide. The human side also thought of this and was a little gloomy. Chen Mou, however, looked calm and shouted, Haiyan, move out. A mecha flew over at high speed in the distance, and a high-energy beam shot out, locking Yin Wu's position. Yin Wu suddenly felt an extreme sense of danger. At the last moment, he turned his body and dodged the beam. The beam hit the ground, and this oil exploded, forming a pit about 40 to 50 meters deep. A mecha about 3 meters high landed from the sky, shining with a strange metallic luster. This is Chen Mou's trump card. He had long known that Qingyang territory had secretly sent a saint to prepare for a decisive battle, so he also applied for a Haiyan mecha from Zijixing. This mecha was the first to be produced, and it consumed a lot of national resources. The mecha code name is Zero. Chen Mou made the greatest contribution in the research, and the situation on Liu Ianxing was also quite critical at this time, so it was natural to apply for it. This was also the first show of the Haiyan mecha. The previous design was only a theory after all, and now it was time to test it in actual combat. This mecha, codenamed Haiyan, just made a casual attack just now, and it didn't show its power at all. How do you feel? After Chen Mou's light words fell, Yin Wu's face finally changed drastically. A casual attack could make him feel threatened, but what if it exploded with all his strength? Then let's try. Yin Wu straightened his expression and rekindled his fighting spirit. No matter how strong it is still a dead thing. No matter how powerful it is, what's the use if it can't hit? The situation on the field returned to balance again. Or it can be said that Qingyang domain has a slight advantage because they have too many strong people. The appearance of Haiyan mecha only offsets the impact brought by Yin Wu. The battle restarted, and the Haiyan mecha faced Yin Wu, bombarding with artillery fire. At high speed, it can still firmly capture Yin Wu's movement trajectory. This mecha is under the control of the automatic combat program, but the flexibility it shows is not inferior to human control. Because Chen Mou tailored the combat program for the Haiyan mecha, which contains his martial arts, Yin Wu dodged repeatedly, but was finally hit by a beam of light. The energy exploded, making him groan and blood flow from the corner of his mouth. Yin Wu's expression changed slightly. Not only did he feel the vast energy in it, but there was also a force of space tearing around him, which suddenly pulled his muscles, making him feel torn apart and extremely uncomfortable. The Haiyan mecha succeeded in one strike, and raised its muzzle again, bombarding in succession. Yin Wu dodged one after another, his body shape changing unpredictably, using his flexibility to avoid a bombardment of the mecha. Damn it, how many bombardments have been made? Can't the energy be used up? Yin Wu originally wanted to use the consumption tactic to consume all the energy of the mecha, but now he found that it was not realistic. The Haiyan mecha bombarded indiscriminately, as if energy was free. The area around the two men had been cleared, and no one dared to fight near them. It seems that antimatter is used for energy, and the amount filled is not small. Yin Wu understood it in his heart. If you defend for a long time, you will lose, and Yin Wu prepared to take the initiative to attack. After enduring 2 bombardments, Yin Wu finally rushed to the side of the Haiyan mecha. A palm that condensed the power of heaven and earth was about to be pushed out, but Yin Wu suddenly retreated violently. A feeling of extreme danger appeared in Yin Wu's mind, and he chose to believe in himself and retreated without hesitation. The Haiyan mecha gently raised its mechanical arm, and the force of space distortion and tearing increased tenfold, covering Yin Wu, making his injuries worse. What the hell? Yin Wu exhaled, and his wounds were affected, making him feel more painful. Fortunately, he retreated quickly, otherwise he would not feel good if he was hit by the space tearing technique. Isn't the power of space only mastered by the domain master? Or even the peak saint can get a glimpse of it. Yin Wu knew that there must be a lot of formations engraved inside this mecha by the strong. For a moment, Yin Wu was in a dilemma. If he was far away, he would be bombarded, and if he was close, he would be hit by a space attack. He wanted to use flexibility to exhaust the energy of the mecha, but Yin Wu didn't know how much antimatter was loaded inside. What if he was exhausted first? By the way, bombard it from the back. Its space attack is also launched by the mechanical arm, and it is difficult to cover the back. Yin Wu and the Haiyan mecha, the two started fighting again. Finally, after being hit a few more times, Yin Wu went around behind the Haiyan mecha. Disintegrate. Yin Wu's eyes were extremely cold, and he struck out with a palm, causing the world to roar. As swift as thunder and as domineering as its tsunami, the palm was imprinted on the back of the Haiyan mecha, causing it to sink completely. Yin Wu was happy at first, but then he felt something was wrong. There seemed to be something wrong with the material of the mecha body. The Haiyan mecha twisted its body and raised its mechanical arm. Space strike. Yin Wu was hit hard and spit out a mouthful of blood. This was the heaviest blow he had received since the start of the war. The dent on the back of the mecha slowly recovered and immediately chased after him. Yin Wu forced himself to stay alert and dodge the violent attack of the Haiyan mecha. He roughly judged that the combat power of this mecha seemed to be able to compete with the middle stage of the saint, which was stronger than him who was in the initial stage. However, it was still unknown who would win. Yin Wu could continuously absorb the power of heaven and earth to strengthen himself and repair his injured body. However, the energy of the Haiyan mecha was decreasing with every use. Humph, I don't believe how much antimatter your Huaki country can produce. If the amount of antimatter is enough, the energy it explodes will easily blow an entire planet into pieces. But the cost of making antimatter is very high. In order to obtain antimatter with a potential energy of 1, It is probably necessary to mobilize an energy of 5. In other words, if you want to blow up a planet, you must first drain the energy of several planets. This is just the energy cost, and other costs have not been calculated. Of course, the duel between Yin Wu and the Haiyan Metra was only a little more destructive, and it was still far less than bombing a planet. However, considering the high cost of antimatter, there shouldn't be too much storage in the Haiyan Metra. Yin Wu calmed down and prepared to honestly exhaust the energy of the Haiyan Metra. During this time, he took the time to take a look at the battlefield on Chen Mou's side, and he was so angry that he almost vomited blood. 10 high-level law scholars still couldn't beat Chen Mou. Now 2 more high-level law scholars have joined the battlefield, and the siege of 12 people has barely ended in a tie. They're all trash. Chapter 330, Killing 2 Saints in a Row. These 12 people are all senior scholars of the law, who have been immersed in this realm for decades. Now, they are being beaten by a young man who has just entered this realm. Yin Wu felt ashamed for them. Just when he was angry at his lack of fighting spirit, Yin Wu was hit by the Haiyan Metra again. He felt extremely uncomfortable and quickly retracted his attention to focus on the enemy. Chen Mou's fighting power was surging, and he was so powerful that he did not feel tired under the siege of everyone. Instead, he became more and more courageous. With a palm push, the mountains and rivers roared. He controlled the storm and held the punishment. Everything he said and did was the will of the heaven, which could not be violated. The vacuum fluctuation technique was running all the time, extracting the zero-point energy of the void and blessing Chen Mou. With a click, a law spear was broken by Chen Mou, and the holder was hit by Chen Mou and vomited blood and retreated violently. The rest of the besiegers felt a chill in their hearts. This man seemed to come from hell and the abyss of the devil, wrapped in the storm, bringing the deepest despair. Fighting spirit was gradually declining. But they couldn't retreat. Military orders are like arrows. Once this arrow is shot, there is only one way to fight to the death. The only way is to strengthen the spirit and improve the combat power. They must strangle this boy in the cradle and never let him grow up. Unfortunately, they have lost their fighting spirit. No matter how they struggle, they can't escape the situation of defeat. Chen Mou hit the 2 people hard and blew them up in the sky. A burst of wind blew through, and only white bones were left in the sky. Broken hands and feet, even the body was broken. The law scholars can gradually repair it. But in this case, it is dead and can't die again. The remaining 10 people saw this scene, and their hearts and galls were broken. Kill. Chen Mou took the life and soul, and the iron-blooded power shocked the whole audience. He didn't stop at all and continued to attack the remaining people. The sky was dark, and the wind was like crying and complaining. Blood mist flew in the sky. The remaining 10 people tried their best to resist but couldn't escape the situation of death. They were all blown up in the sky by Chen Mou. This scene was seen by Lu Du and Yin Wu, and the pupils shrank. Chen Mou's figure was suspended in the air, his black hair fluttering, his clothes fluttering. Just one person was enough to shock the whole audience. The base was full of momentum, while the Qingyang domain's faces changed, unable to accept this fact. 12 top masters, 12 high-ranking figures, were strangled by the opponent with one hand. One's own strength changed the situation of the battle. Chen Mou's eyes moved and looked at where Yin Wu was. Under the attack of the Haiyan Metra, Yin Wu was struggling and looked a little embarrassed. But it was not easy for the Haiyan Metra to really knock him down. "I'll kill you." Chen Mou's mouth curled up, and the storm whistled behind him. He flashed like lightning and arrived at Yin Wu's position in an instant. Yin Wu's face changed, and he raised his hand to punch Chen Mou. The cyclone exploded, and the 2 were evenly matched. Yin Wu couldn't believe it. Even if he was injured a lot and was not in peak condition, the opponent had just finished a battle. With the realm of a high-level law scholar, he could hit a saint? But if you really think about it, it is reasonable for a person to fight against 12 veteran law scholars alone and have strength close to that of a saint. The 2 of them separated suddenly, and the attack of the Haiyan Metra came again. The high-energy beam killed accurately. Under the siege of the 2, Yin Wu could not hold on for long. With a roar of grief and anger, Yin Wu was pierced by Chen Mou's punch. His body staggered and he retreated quickly. The beam of light from the Haiyan Metra tracked and exploded on Yin Wu. Chen Mou locked onto Yin Wu's position and followed quickly. After the repeated bombardment of the 2, Yin Wu finally couldn't hold on and his life was cut off. The saint fell. The morale of Qingyang domain fell to the bottom. The balance of victory and defeat has already tipped towards the human side. Zhao Wenlin, Chen Mou, and Haiyan Jue are a trinity. There is only Lu Du left in Qingyang domain. How to take it? Retreat quickly. Heaven has doomed our Qingyang region. Does Lord Lao Du have any backup plan? The people of Qingyang region began to think of retreating, but they did not collapse because of military discipline. Retreat. Lao Du's order came from high in the sky, and the people of Qingyang region immediately fled. I can't control whether others run or not for the time being. You Lao Du stay here. Chen Mou and Haiyan Jue launched a pursuit towards Lao Du. Zhao Wenlin did not follow up, but cooperated with the army to kill the large army of Qingyang region. Although Qingyang region lost its fighting spirit, it still had to guard against them jumping off the wall and fighting to the death. With the support of the saints, the other side did not even have the capital to fight to the death. This was also a little tacit understanding between Zhao Wenlin and Chen Mou. It was enough to let Chen Mou go to chase Lao Du. Lao Du abandoned the large army and fled alone, disappearing at the end of the sky in an instant. Generally speaking, in a battle of the same level, if one side insisted on running, the probability of escaping was very high. But Chen Mou could sense the fluctuations of Lu Du's aura. After the opponent used secret techniques to escape several times, Chen Mou still locked his position. Under Chen Mou's leadership, the Haiyan Jue chased closely. Finally, in a desert, the two sides fought fiercely, and Chen Mou killed another saint. Lu Du, old dog, died in my hands. Chen Mou carried Lu Du's head and went to the direction of the battlefield. After killing Lu Du, Chen Mou truly felt that the future could be rewritten. I can't beat Suzaku, so I can beat you? Chen Mou sighed. After encountering setbacks with Suzaku, he could only be incompetent and furious here at Lu Du. Looking at the Mecha's energy supply system, only 10% of the antimatter was left, and a battle consumed a lot. In ordinary cruise flight, the Haiyan Jue can't consume so much energy in a year. But a battle almost emptied the energy tank. There is also a shortage of antimatter. The energy system of Zero is actually not full. The human coalition army chased and killed almost all of the Qingyang territory army. Only a small group of troops escaped into the no man's land, and their traces were unknown, so it was difficult for them to become powerful. We won. Everyone cheered and celebrated this hard-won victory. Originally, they all had the determination to fight to the death and fight to the last man. After all, the power of Qingyang territory was much stronger. Unexpectedly, Governor Chen showed his power. Not only did he invite an unprecedented mecha, but he also killed many law scholars and a saint, laying the foundation for victory. After the excitement, it was sad. The victory of mankind is not without price. The number of warships, mechas, and human warriors has decreased by about 40%. The fighting time was not long, but it was fought with life. The 40% mortality rate is not a cold number, but a familiar face, a comrade in arms who has been with each other day and night. Everyone was silent, gathered the troops, and began to return. The war was won, but there is still a lot of aftermath work to be done. Our former home has been completely destroyed by a nuclear bomb. Where should we go now? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 331, Rebuilding Home. In the air raid shelter, the people gathered together, their faces terrified. This was not the first battle with Qingyang domain, but it was the most dangerous one that many people could remember. The entire Liuyan Star region was mobilized, and the atmosphere of war continued to permeate. Finally, after many days of martial law, the full-scale nuclear strike alarm sounded, and the people hurriedly fled into the air raid shelter. Nuclear weapons roared in, and even at a depth of dozens of meters underground, they could still feel the tremor. Our houses should have been blown up now. Wang Chunnine's face turned pale and she smiled bitterly. Maybe it's gone. He shook his head. Don't talk about the house. I don't know if the jurisdiction can survive this disaster. He, who has always been optimistic, also said a dejected word, but this is what many people think in their hearts. The strength of Qingyang domain is much stronger than that of the human base. Of course, if it is a fight to the death, Qingyang domain will also be injured and suffer countless casualties. Therefore, in the past, Qingyang domain has always been in a stalemate with the base and has not taken forceful action. The situation is obviously different now. Qingyang domain has shown an attitude of not sparing any cost and is determined to destroy the base. This can be seen from the mutual dropping of nuclear bombs. Alice. Wang Chunyan touched her pocket, which contained an ID card, a bank card, and a stack of cash. Everyone who came in for refuge had prepared these things in advance. I just don't know if I will have the opportunity to use them in the future. In addition, Haiyan and Wang Chunyan also brought some food and water. There are also food reserves in the shelter, which are limited to daily supply based on the number of people. The stock is not much, enough to support for a while. The air raid shelters in various parts of the jurisdiction are not connected. People are scattered in different places, but they are all in the same mood. Several public officials patrolled the shelter to maintain order. They were also worried, but they could not show their worry. Instead, they all had a confident look on their faces. Don't panic, stay calm. The strength of Qingyang territory is not as strong as you think. If they really have the strength, they would have started the war several years ago. Now they are just pretending. The lords in the jurisdiction have already seen through their tricks. After the battle, they will be defeated. Who knows if this is true? Everyone thought in their hearts, but no one spoke. They were willing to believe this just for a little illusory hope. We won, we won. A young soldier ran in hurriedly, his face filled with an extremely excited look. He was still at the level of miracle apprentice, so he could not go to the battlefield and was only responsible for security work in the rear. Governor Chen showed his divine power and killed 2 Qingyang territory saints. Lord Zhaoxing led a large army to chase the main force of Qingyang territory for 3,000 miles and defeated most of them. As soon as the voice fell, the whole shelter was in an uproar. Are you telling the truth? One person asked in disbelief. Of course he was willing to accept this situation, but it sounded too magical. How could this be false? It was the news from the command room. All places with broadcasts have reported it, but we didn't. The young soldier said happily. Victory. Haiyan and Wang Chunyan looked at each other and saw the joy in each other's eyes. Governor Chen, is it the new governor? He is so strong. The same news was passed on in other shelters, igniting the fire of hope in everyone's heart. The battle ended with a great victory for the base, but the people still stayed in the shelter and did not go out. The buildings on the ground were all destroyed, and the artificial stars were also shot down. There was no shelter and the cold wind was howling. Such an environment is not something that people with lower cultivation can withstand. What's more, there is extremely serious nuclear radiation on the ground. Only those who are at the level of miracle apprentice and above, and have miracle power, can resist the influence of nuclear radiation. The beginner level is just a little stronger, and they can't withstand long-term exposure to the radiation environment. There are radiation-proof suits in the shelter, but there are not too many. Now we can only send people to select sites, build new living environments, and then gradually relocate the people. The area under the jurisdiction of Haiyan Star is in ruins. The reconstruction work is being carried out in an orderly manner. First, some material storage points that have not been attacked were opened, and a lot of building materials were moved out from them. In addition, there are various construction machines such as excavators. Zhao Wenlin, Chen Mou and others also contributed their efforts. A strong man above the realm of law scholar can destroy a mountain with one blow. Now it is also very useful in construction, at least the speed of moving materials is very fast. Beginners, miracle apprentices, miracle masters and others also went into battle, and the entire army was dispatched to become an infrastructure engineering team. There is no problem with manpower, but the main difficulty is that there are not enough building materials and machines. The construction standards of Haiyan Star are relatively high. After all, the cold wind here is howling, and the wind force is stronger than that of Century Super Talibuki. It is equivalent to a typhoon blowing every day of the year. Of course, there will be wind-blocking circles outside the city to reduce the wind force. The wind speed inside the city is not so exaggerated. The building standards only need to be slightly higher than those on Zhijiaxing, but not too much higher. The planets under the jurisdiction of Huoki country around them have sent spacecraft to deliver machines and materials. Many factories and production lines have been built inside the newly planned city to produce building materials using the resources inside the planet. This war has set our Liuxiang jurisdiction back more than 10 years in terms of economy and technology. Zhao Wenlin smiled bitterly. Power supply, roads, factories, etc. Which of these things did not take many years to develop? And how long will it take to rebuild banks, shops, and communication networks? A round of intensive nuclear warheads dropped, and all of these were gone. It took decades to develop to the level of the jurisdiction before, but it only took more than 20 minutes to destroy it. Construction is always harder than destruction. Fortunately, the jurisdiction had prepared a lot of material storage points before, so it finally had some assets, and with the assistance of various planets, the reconstruction work was difficult but was also slowly progressing. The destructive force needs to be restricted. Chen Mou responded. With the efforts of everyone, artificial stars, wind barriers, factories, power systems and other infrastructure were gradually built. Simpler houses were also being built at a rapid pace. It was not a good idea to always let people live in air raid shelters, as they were not permanent residences. In addition to manpower, a large number of robots were also involved in the construction. The Yangshu Star District of the Star Moon Federation has sent us supplies. May the friendship between the Federation and Huaki last forever. One after another, transport spaceships broke through the air, with a logo of the Star Moon Federation printed on the hull. Chapter 332, Aid from Yangshu Star. The Star Moon Federation has hundreds of spaceships for transporting supplies, each of which is very large and carries a lot of supplies. When Zhao Wenlin heard the news, he immediately went to greet them with enthusiasm. It was expected that Huaki's planet would send supplies to support them, as they are all brother planets. But the Star Moon Federation was willing to send supplies, and sent hundreds of ships at once, which was really amazing. I can only say that the boss is generous. Christine jumped off the leading spaceship. She has a beautiful face, her long silver hair fluttering in the wind, and her sky-blue eyes carry an invisible cold and noble aura. Her slender figure and jade-like snow body are extremely seductive. Noble and seductive, two temperaments that are not very harmonious, are concentrated on Christine at the same time, but they are not abrupt, but add infinite charm to her. Star Master Zhao. Christine bowed gently. She is usually arrogant, but her etiquette is impeccable, which is something inherited from the bloodline of the ancient family of the Federation. Miss Christine. Zhao Wenlin hurriedly returned the greeting upon seeing this. He originally wanted to shake hands, following international etiquette. But handshakes are usually initiated by ladies, and it would be too rude for men to take the initiative. Period. However, Christine used the more advanced etiquette than handshakes, so handshakes were naturally unnecessary. What Zhao Wenlin didn't know was that Christine was also deliberately avoiding handshakes. She usually had a mild misophobia. Only in battle would this misophobia be restrained, and blood splattered everywhere could be tolerated. My main purpose of this trip is to deliver some construction machines and materials. This is the list of materials. Please ask Lord Zhao to send someone to count them. Christine took a list from her entourage and handed it to Zhao Wenlin. After Zhao Wenlin took it, he ordered his men to go and hand it over. He said with a smile on his face, "Sincerely thank you for the assistance of the Star Moon Federation, and may our friendship last forever. Guests from afar are guests, let alone guests who have sent a lot of things." Zhao Wenlin played the spirit of the host and led Christine and others to a temporary reception and entertained them warmly. Star Master Zhao, I heard that Governor Chen was so powerful and accomplished in this battle. Where is he now? I'd like to see him. Christine took a sip of tea, her bright eyes looking forward to it. Governor Chen is inspecting the construction in another area. Since Miss Christine is interested, I can send him a message to see if he has time to come back to see me. If an ordinary person came to visit, Zhao Wenlin would have dismissed him with a sentence saying that Governor Chen was busy, but Christine brought so many supplies, it was different. Zhao Wenlin sent a message through the temporary communication network, and then put the phone back in his pocket. Miss Christine is right. Governor Chen is indeed invincible this time. It can be said that he turned the tide of the battle and turned the world upside down with his own strength. If Governor Chen hadn't taken action, I'm afraid our Liu Ian Star jurisdiction would be in danger this time. Christine smiled slightly. I heard that Governor Chen summoned a powerful mecha that has never been seen before. Chen Mou killed 2 saints in a row, which sounded very shocking, but most people outside thought that this mecha was the key. Zhao Wenlin laughed. It seems that this is the case, but I don't know the details. Is the spy coming? Zhao Wenlin was alert and would never reveal much information. Of course, after the Haiyan Metro was unveiled, it could not be concealed. Basically, all forces knew that Huaki State had a brand new war weapon. On the other side, Chen Mou received the news, but his brows frowned. Christine is here. Isn't this his little fangirl in the future memory? There is no way, if you are handsome and strong, you will always have such troubles. Christine's enthusiasm made Chen Mou a little unbearable. Chen Mou was annoyed and embarrassed by this. Master Zhao asked me if I have time to come back to meet the guests, so I said I don't have time. Chen Mou replied with a message, saying that he was busy with affairs and couldn't leave. The phone notification sounded. Zhao Wenlin took it out and looked at it, and said embarrassedly, Miss Christine, Governor Chen has too many things to do now, and it's difficult to leave. It doesn't matter, I can understand, then please ask Master Zhao to send someone to take me there. Christine stood up, her figure graceful and moving. Well, okay, I'll take you there myself. Zhao Wenlin couldn't figure out whether Chen Mou didn't want to see him or was really too busy, but since Christine had said so, he had no choice but to take her there. When Christine arrived, she saw Chen Mou standing in front of a construction site, observing the construction situation. In the early stage of construction, the law scholars and others took action to clear the site, but when it came to the detailed construction stage, they had nothing to do. Chen Mou was good at destruction, but he had no talent for construction. Christine looked at Chen Mou. Although he was not lazy, he didn't look busy at all. Hello, Governor Chen, I'm Christine. Christine walked up and took the initiative to extend her hand. Nice to meet you. Chen Mou extended his hand and shook Christine's hand, but soon let go, with a slightly perfunctory attitude. Christine's smile made people feel like spring breeze, but she felt a little strange in her heart. How could this person have such an attitude towards her? Even the arrogant Francis and others would be a little surprised when they first saw her, but Chen Mou's reaction was a bit rare. Governor Chen, Miss Christine donated a lot of supplies to us on behalf of the Star Moon Federation. Zhao Wenlin mentioned it briefly. Ah, thank you, Miss Christine is such a nice person. Chen Mou's attitude became much more enthusiastic, and he gave Christine a good person card by the way. You're welcome, helping each other is what our countries should do. The construction in the West District still needs my help, Miss Christine, excuse me. After chatting for a while, Chen Mou found an excuse and slipped away. Of course, it's not a lie. One more person means one more force. Now the most urgent task is to build a batch of houses as soon as possible so that the people have a place to live. The whole area of Liu Iungsing is devoted to the construction. Chen Mou has also taken the lead recently and set a good example. Governor Chen's personality is interesting. Christine smiled playfully. Why does it feel like Chen Mou is avoiding me? Christine couldn't figure it out. In the past, there were also some people who showed disdain for me, but in fact they all wanted to attract my attention by doing this reverse operation. Chen Mou didn't seem to be pretending, and Christine could tell that. Geniuses often have peculiar personalities. Zhao Wenlin laughed meaningfully. Christine was born into a noble family, and Chen Mou's family background was equally terrifying, so there was no need to praise him too much. Chapter 333 Pension. For the next period of time, Christine did not return to Yangshu Star. Instead, she followed Chen Mou to check the progress of the project with great interest. She was certainly not rebellious because of Chen Mou's attitude. That was a fool's behavior. There were two purposes for staying. One was to examine the construction capacity of Huaki country on the spot. It is said that the infrastructure of this country is very powerful, and many difficult large projects have been completed easily. The second is to test Chen Mou's strength. The news that he killed 2 saints in a row with the high-level realm of the law scholar shocked the 4 major countries. That was something that Qi Wenru, the top of the Star Glory list, and Francis, the Dark Judge, could not do. Later, Huaki country also gave an explanation that Chen Mou dispatched a mecha, and with the cooperation of the mecha, he achieved such a record. Most people believed this statement. After all, it was impossible for a law scholar to provoke a saint. Just like a miracle master could not violate a law scholar. But Christine remained skeptical, feeling that Huaki country was hiding something. Regardless of the news, she only believed what she saw with her own eyes, so she took the opportunity to deliver supplies and came to see it in person. When they first met, Christine was a little disappointed. Chen Mou had a decent appearance, but his overall temperament was gentle, and he really didn't look like a peerless killer who charged into battle. Of course, first impressions are often biased, and Christine stayed again, preparing to observe for a few more days. Next, Chen Mou still left her with a strange impression. This Governor Chen didn't have the airs of a governor, but often helped with the work, busy from morning to night. Maybe this is his way of controlling people, Christine thought. Christine had also heard of the ancient imperial technique of Huaki country, which emphasized loving the people like one's own children. In fact, it was just a show, a means of maintaining stability. No matter how close the emperor was to the people, he was still an emperor. Christine tried her best to observe, trying to find traces of showmanship from Chen Mou, but unfortunately she couldn't find it for a while. Governor Chen, who do you think can be called a hero in this world? Christine asked a little bored after walking around with Chen Mou. In addition to asking Tang Yun, Christine also asked many people about this question, and basically everyone was speechless. Christine was looking forward to Chen Mou's answer. Maybe he would mention Chen Kangsheng and others like Tang Yun, or confidently talk about himself. Chen Mou glanced at her and wondered why this person didn't go back yet. Is he so idle? But Christine sent a lot of supplies and occasionally helped with the work, so he was embarrassed to drive her away. Be a good person, and you can be called a hero, Chen Mou said. Be a good person. Christine chewed on these 4 words, thinking for a long time before saying, doesn't that mean everyone is a hero? Maybe. Chen Mou responded, but he was thinking in his heart, is it really easy to be a good person? How many people finally become unlike themselves? I can't agree with your statement. Christine has always believed that there are few heroes in the world, but Chen Mou said that everyone is a hero, which is far from her judgment. You have your judgment, and I won't force your approval. Chen Mou smiled and continued to move forward. What a strange person. Why didn't this person play by the rules? Christine frowned and followed quickly. In addition to the Star Moon Federation, the Taka Empire and the Rukal Kingdom also sent a batch of supplies. The construction of the city is in full swing. After entering the Starry Sky Age, the investment of a large number of robots and heavy machinery has accelerated the speed of infrastructure construction. Not to mention that many strong people have been involved in the construction this time. On the Purple Pole Star, this is impossible. If you want miracle masters and law scholars to help with construction, I'm afraid you're crazy. The first batch of residential houses have been built. Although they are still relatively simple and have not been decorated, they can at least be lived in, and the conditions are better than air raid shelters. Because it is only the first batch of residences, it cannot fully accommodate all residents, so the only way is to select lucky people to move in through lottery and other methods. Haiyu and Wang Chunayan were both lucky enough to draw the first batch of quotas. About 1/3 of the probability. When there came to the newly planned human jurisdiction, Haiyu quickly took out his mobile phone and made a call. The person she called was Zhuang Minglang, but unfortunately the call was not connected. Chunayan, why didn't Minglang answer the phone? Haiyu felt a faint fear in her heart, and she couldn't help but think of a possibility. It has been a long time since the end of the war, and Zhuang Minglang has not contacted her. Haiyu was confined in the air raid shelter and could not move around, and there was no signal inside. But Zhuang Minglang could always come and look for her. Don't worry, maybe it's because the signal here is not good. There are only a few base stations here, which is not comparable to the old jurisdiction. Wang Chunayan comforted. Haiyu nodded and walked quickly to the public official who led them here. Hello, can I ask you about a person? His name is Zhuang Minglang, he is my fiancé, he is in the military system, and he is in the realm of Miracle Master. I haven't contacted him for more than a month. Haiyu added. The person Haiyu asked was a middle-aged man, a little thin, gentle, and wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. I haven't contacted him for a month. The man with gold-rimmed glasses thought for a moment. Do you have any information about his unit? I'll ask the higher-ups. There's a lot of work to be done recently, and everyone is very busy. Maybe he can't spare the time. Haiyu thought for a moment. Northwest Theater, 351st Unit. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for you. The man with gold-rimmed glasses said. Haiyu didn't wait for any news from the man with the gold-rimmed glasses. Instead, an officer came to her new residence first. Hello, is this Ms. Haiyu? Yes, what can I do for you? Haiyu asked cautiously. Is Mr. Zhuang Minglang your fiancé? Yes, please ask him. The officer said in a sad tone, I regret to tell you that Mr. Zhuang Minglang has died for his country. Haiyu shook his body and his head dropped. Thank you for telling me. I had a premonition, but I still held a 1 in 10,000th hope. I'm sorry, the officer said, Mr. Zhuang Minglang is a real soldier. I hope you can mourn for him. I know and understand. Haiyan raised his head. War always kills people. I believe Mingling will not regret his choice. Faced with Haiyan's calmness, the officer was a little overwhelmed. He took out a stack of cash and a bank card. This is Mr. Zhuang Minglang's pension, 30,000 yuan in cash, and 32.15 million in the bank card, which is calculated from Mr. Zhuang Minglang's military merits and pension. Pensions are generally given to the families of the victims. But Zhuang Minglang no longer has any family members, and his closest relative is his fiancée Haiyan. He and Haiyan are both orphans. Chapter 334 Donation. The bank card password is 781,781. I hope Miss Haiyan will change the password as soon as possible. The officer said. No need. Haiyan pushed back the cash and bank card. I don't need so much money. The jurisdiction is being rebuilt and the finances are tight. Minglang's pension will be allocated by the government. I think this is what he expects. But, this is what you deserve. And your family conditions. The officer took a look at Haiyan's clothes and didn't look wealthy. I still have some savings, and I'm in college. I'll be able to find a good job after the new jurisdiction is built. In Haiyan Star, where wars are frequent and the situation is turbulent, being able to successfully complete college is already a relatively outstanding existence. Haiyan and Zhuang Mingling met at a university fraternity. They were not on the same school. Zhuang Mingling studied in a school that combines both civil and military education, while Haiyan studied in a pure theoretical research university. The officer reached out and pushed the money back. Miss Haiyan, please accept it. The financial situation in the jurisdiction is very difficult, but we don't lack this little money. Okay. Haiyan saw that the officer was a little embarrassed, and put away the cash and bank cards. The officer breathed a sigh of relief, stood up and said goodbye. Miss Haiyan, I wish you good luck. I have something to do, so I'm leaving first. After seeing off the officer, Haiyan looked at the cash and bank cards in her hand, was stunned for a while, and finally hid the 30,000 cash in the new residence, closed the door, and went out with a bank card. Hukigoliu Iungsing District Reconstruction Logistics Committee. After some inquiries, Haiyan finally found this place. Of course, this is a branch, not the headquarters. Haiyan walked in from the gate and saw several staff members running around with documents, a busy scene. Hello, I want to donate money, where can I go? Haiyan grabbed a staff member. Oh, over there, go straight from here, and then turn left and you can see it. The staff was much more enthusiastic when they heard what Haiyan was here. The current financial pressure in the jurisdiction is indeed great, and recently they are calling on the public to donate money and materials. Only with money can we buy more supplies from other planets. Money is just paper, just a bunch of data, but under the existing interstellar currency system, the jurisdiction of Haiyan Star cannot issue more currency at will. How much reserves there were before the war, that's how much? Some people did come to donate, but the number was not large. Post-war reconstruction is a time when people are uneasy. Many people are now unemployed and live on some basic relief supplies. Naturally, they have to hold on to the little extra money in their hands and refuse to hand it over. Is this selfish? It can't be considered selfish. People's hearts are like this. Selfless people deserve praise and encouragement, but you can't force others to make selfless contributions. Haiyan quickly found the place to accept donations. The person who is responsible for receiving her was a tall girl with a pretty face. Hello, I want to donate. Haiyan said bluntly. Thank you for your support. Are you going to give cash or transfer? Said the tall girl. Can I swipe the card? Haiyan took out a bank card. 32.15 million, is there a limit on this card? Can I swipe so much at one time? The tall girl was obviously shocked. Yes, we can open a channel here. But are you sure? Do you really want to donate 32.15 million? Yes, I'm sure. The tall girl took out a card swiping device. Then please swipe the card here and enter the password. Please rest assured that the money will be directly transferred to the central account of the jurisdiction and will be used by the central government. Haiyan operated it, entered the password, and transferred all the 32.15 million in the card. Thank you very much for your support. The tall girl also issued a series of supporting materials such as receipts, transfer certificates, receipts, etc. Haiyan picked up all these things and turned around to leave. Wait. The tall girl called Haiyan from behind. What's your name? I need to register you. Haiyan paused and said in a somewhat dry voice, Zhuang Minglang, just right, Zhuang Minglang. With her back to the tall girl, 2 lines of tears fell from the corners of Hiyu's eyes. She did not stop at all and left quickly. Martyrs Cemetery. Chen Mou stepped on this place. This cemetery covers a large area and is newly built. Tombstones are engraved with the soldiers who died in this battle. A solemn and heavy atmosphere came towards him, making Chen Mou more silent. In front of the many tombstones, he bowed deeply. Dear soldiers, please rest in peace. In the war in Qingyang domain, our Liuanxing district won a great victory. It's a pity that my cultivation is shallow and I couldn't save your lives. Chen Mou's cultivation is enough to influence the situation of the battle, but not dominate it. The difference of 2 words is a world of difference. After all, the progress is too slow. Chen Mou stretched out his right hand and gently clenched it into a fist in front of his chest. Strength, more strength is needed. With Chen Mou's current cultivation, he is still insignificant in the torrent of war. Give Chen Mou enough time, he can be promoted to a realm that the world looks up to, but Qingyang domain will not wait. Christine also bowed lightly. Although the sacrifices were all soldiers of Huaki country, they were equally worthy of respect. Hearing Chen Mou's words, Christine raised her eyebrows slightly. He has reached a high level of law scholars at such a young age, and has the strength to deal with saints. Isn't it satisfied? Following Chen Mou for many days, the other party has not shown any extraordinary characteristics beyond ordinary people. Now an inadvertent remark has exposed some of Chen Mou's extraordinariness. He believes that it is natural to be promoted to the high level of law scholars at this age, and the progress is a bit slow. Governor Chen's enterprising spirit is admirable, but your cultivation progress is already very fast, enough to be on par with Lin Sichen, Lin Chuanzhou and others. Christine mentioned it intentionally or unintentionally. Sister Chen, Chuanzhou. Chen Mou thought of the 2 girls, and a gentle smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It has been a long time since he last saw them. Lin Chuanzhou has always been a little childish, but now after more than 2 years of battlefield experience, it is said that he has grown up and can stand on his own. It's really you. Christine whispered in her heart. Before coming to Liu Einstar, she heard that Chen Mou and Lin Sichen were in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and she also had a little friendship with Lin Chuanzhou. She was a little curious about who was the person who could catch the eyes of the 2 proud girls of heaven. It seems that you are familiar with each other? I heard that they both have many admirers, and there are some geniuses from aristocratic families among them. Christine said deliberately. Chen Mou glanced at her and looked nonchalant. Are you testing our relationship? I have confidence in her and in myself. Chapter 335. After the worship, Chen Mou stared at the martyrs' cemetery for a long time, and finally turned away. After a period of reconstruction, the situation has now stabilized. It is time to settle accounts. Returning to the new governor mansion, which was half-built and had a rough framework, Chen Mou called Gu Yongzhen. Watching the backs of the 2 people walking into the office, Christine stopped tactfully and did not follow them in. For some reason, after returning to the governor mansion, the majesty and pressure on Chen Mou increased exponentially, making Christine feel a little depressed. It's about time to go back to Yangshu Star. Christine thought. She has stayed here on Liu Einstar for a long time, but she has not gained anything. Chen Mou is like a mystery, which makes her unable to see through. Christine has not encountered such a situation for a long time. How is the investigation going? Chen Mou spoke in the office, asking about Hua's Hanking's situation. Hua's Hanking left in a hurry that day, but after the situation turned around, he came back not long after. After the war, Chen Mou has been busy with reconstruction work and has no time to care about him. Don't worry, Governor. I have already collected enough evidence and the information is well preserved. Gu Yongzhen took out a small USB flash drive and a stack of paper materials. He sent people to follow and tipped off Qingyang territory to plot to assassinate the governor. He deserted the battlefield and disregarded military regulations. He used his power to gain a lot of benefits. All the crimes were clearly listed. Gu Yongzhen is really capable and he can find out so many things. There is no wall that is impenetrable. Many times, what you think is absolute confidentiality is just that others don't want to investigate you. Chen Mou took the information and flipped it gently. Gu Yongzhen secretly observed Chen Mou's reaction. From beginning to end, Chen Mou did not show any emotional fluctuations, which made Gu Yongzhen even more shocked. Well, it's well done. Chen Mou praised and said, I'm going to go to the Deputy Star-Lord's mansion. Are you going with me? Is he going to fall out? Gu Yongjin thought for a second, and then he said without hesitation, I am willing to follow the governor's footsteps. Chen Mou killed 2 saints in a row, and his power was overwhelming. How could he be afraid of a Deputy Star-Lord? Well, take a few brothers with you, and let's go. Chen Mou said. Are we going to take people directly? Gu Yongjin was a little excited, but he couldn't help but remind him, this may be a bit against the rules. The governor went to the Deputy Star-Lord's territory to take people, which was over the line. Reporting the matter to Zhao Wenlin was a better choice. What do you mean by taking people directly? Chen Mou waved his hand. We have discipline and system, understand? Chen Mou patted the information in his hand. I won't take people by force. I want him to be convinced and take the initiative to follow me. This won't be against the rules. Yes, yes, the governor's words are really incisive, and he woke people up with one word. We must convince people with reason. Gu Yongjin showed his flattery nature. In front of the Deputy Star-Lord's mansion, Chen Mou strode in, followed by Gu Yongjin and others. Governor Chen. I didn't expect that Governor Chen would come. I wonder what he is here for. Along the way, the guards were shocked. The battle that day established Chen Mou's supreme prestige in one fell swoop. This kind of prestige is definitely not inferior to Zhao Wenlin, and even the Deputy Star Master cannot match it. Governor Chen, I wonder what you are doing. Hu Zhen hurriedly greeted him after hearing the news. Deputy Star Master Hu. Chen Mou still maintained respect in front of Hu Zhen. I came here today mainly for Hu Zhenking. He has done something wrong. Hu Zhen was shocked when he heard this. Chen Mou was too direct. Zhenking is not in the mansion. I will call him back. Hu Zhen thought about it inside in his heart, thinking that Chen Mou came because of Hu Zhenking's escape from the battlefield. If no one pursued it, he could use the excuse of going out for help and the matter would be over. But if Chen Mou intervened forcefully and pursued it to the end, Hu Zhenking would never be right. And Yan Jingwu, is he here? Please notify Deputy Star Master Hu. Chen Mou reported another person's name. Hu Zhen felt something was wrong, but he still notified them. Yan Jingwu didn't run away. Why did Chen Mou look for him? Could it be that these 2 people did something behind my back? Hu Zhen pondered and felt a little tricky. Not long after, Hu Zhenking and Yan Jingwu arrived. Chen Mou, Gu Yongjin and others, Hu Zhen and his confidants all looked over, and instantly made the 2 feel a huge pressure. Especially Chen Mou, the 2 people who had something to hide were even more uneasy. A person's reputation is like a tree's shadow. Chen Mou's reputation at this time shook the entire planet, and he had an unspeakable power. Chen Mou threw a stack of paper materials over. Take a look. Hu Zhenking and Yan Jingwu flipped through them and immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Murdering the governor and tipping off Qingyang territory, this crime. In addition to this, Hu Zhenking has many other crimes, listed one by one, with solid evidence. And Yan Jingwu is naturally not clean. The 2 trembled slightly and wanted to tear up the information immediately. In the end, they held back and didn't do it. This was too childish. Chen Mou didn't know how many backups he had saved. What is that? Hu Zhen also felt something was wrong and pulled the information over. His face became darker and darker, and he pointed at Hu Zhenking. You. Hu Zhen has always known that Hu Zhenking is not the kind of person who follows the rules. But Hu Zhenking also knows the limits and will not do anything too out of line, so Hu Zhen only disciplines him a few words. Unexpectedly, his son is getting more and more unrestrained. Who can bear the crime of murdering the governor? Dad, this can't be blamed on me. It was all Yan Jingwu's idea, and it was Governor Chen who targeted me at the beginning. If he hadn't taken the initiative to provoke me, how could I fight back? Hu Zhenking's lips turned pale and his voice was trembling. Mr. Hu, I asked you to stop later, but you refused to listen. Do you want to put the blame on me? Yan Jingwu also felt that the situation was very bad, but at least he couldn't take all the responsibility. Hu Zhenking, even if we put aside the charge of murdering me, how do you explain your desertion? Yan Jingwu, you must have committed many crimes in normal times. Chen Mou smiled slightly. His tone was not aggressive, but rather like a friend chatting. This attitude made the 2 people's hearts sink to the bottom. Governor Chen was simply a smiling tiger. Okay, please come with me to the court. The verdict will be made. I, Chen, will not interfere. Chen Mou stood with his hands behind his back, his eyes like a hawk. The 2 did not move, and looked at Hu Zhen together. hoping that the Deputy Star Master would mediate. If they went to court, would they still have a way to survive? Hu Zhen murmured a few times, but did not speak after all. This performance immediately made Hu Zhanqing and Yan Jingwu despair. Chapter 336 Christine leaves. If they were to be punished for multiple crimes, the heavier the sentence, the death penalty, and the lighter the sentence, the more likely it would be that their cultivation would be abolished and they would be sentenced to life imprisonment. Hu Zhanqing and Yan Jingwu turned pale, and they were terrified. Take them away. Chen Mou waved his hand, and Gu Yongjin and others immediately rushed forward and took the two out. Hu Zhanqing and Yan Jingwu did not resist. With Chen Mou's fighting power, I'm afraid that all the people in the Deputy Star Lord's mansion combined would not be enough for him to fight, so what could they account for? Seeing that Chen Mou was also about to leave, Hu Zhen said bitterly, Governor Chen, I only have this one son, can you not sentence him to death? I am willing to give up the position of Deputy Star Lord in exchange for his life. Chen Mou shook his head and sighed, pitiful for the love of parents in the world. Deputy Star Lord Hu, there is no need to do this. I can't make the decision on this matter. What should be sentenced according to the law, then it should be sentenced. We are ruled by law, not by man. Chen Mou bowed his hands and said goodbye. Hu Zhen suddenly seemed to have aged by several decades. You are too arrogant and don't know how to restrain yourself. In the end, you still cause trouble. I am a failure in my life because I didn't teach my son well. After finishing this matter, Chen Mou returned to the governor mansion. He had some free time and prepared to practice. Unfortunately, the spirit gathering array had been destroyed by the nuclear bomb and it was difficult to rebuild in a short time. He could only buy some spiritual medicines through the military merit system for practice. After purchasing in the system, the central government of Huaki State would dispatch and send them. In the battle that day, Chen Mou earned a lot of military merits. Killing 12 high-level law scholars, each of them had 200,000 military merits, a total of 2.4 million. Killing the first-level saint, each of them had 2 million military merits. Of course, it had to be a single kill. When killing Yin Wu, although Chen Mou used the Haiyan Mecha, it was still counted as a single kill when calculating military merits, and was awarded 2 million military merits. When killing Lu Du, because Zhao Wenlin also contributed, it was a bloody battle in the early stage, which consumed a lot of Lu Du's strength. When calculating the military merit card, Chen Mou was only given 1.2 million military merits. Chen Mou was quite satisfied with this. He did not feel it was unreasonable. Instead, he felt that the system was quite generous when calculating. Generally speaking, if you use a mecha to kill an opponent, some military merits will be deducted. Because the mecha is provided to you by the country, it consumes national resources. If you buy the mecha with your own money, it will be different. But when calculating here, the military merit of the mecha is not deducted. Chen Mou does not know the specific situation. Maybe it is related to his being the developer of the Haiyan Mecha. After a battle, he obtained 5.6 million military merits and became rich. Chen Mou's position on the Star Glory list also soared and jumped to third place in one fell swoop. The two people ahead of Chen Mou did not have the feat of killing the saint, but after many years of fighting, they killed many law scholars, and the military merit value is not something Chen Mou can surpass. Of course, this list is calculated based on the accumulated military merits. In terms of the available military merits at this stage, I am afraid that no one can compare with Chen Mou. Who would save so many military merits? They have long been converted into resources for cultivation. Governor Chen, I am ready to leave. Before I leave, can I dare to challenge you and have a fight? Christine walked with her slender and straight legs, looking at Chen Mou with her sky-blue eyes, as bright as the morning stars. No problem. Chen Mou agreed happily. This man was finally leaving. Looking at Chen Mou's happy face, Christine was really a little depressed. I am leaving, you are very happy, I know this, but do you have to show it so obviously? Christine doubted her charm for the first time. What is the first beauty of the Federation? It's just a false title. Christine has always been self-centered, striving to achieve the state of not being encouraged by the world's praise, and not being discouraged by the world's criticism, and not being moved by the outside world. Of course, this is the realm of a saint, and Christine cannot do it for the time being. When she hears the praise from the outside world, she will still feel a little happy. Now Chen Mou's performance has hit Christine a little. It is not pretending, but a real secret joy. Christine, it's time to recognize yourself. Most people admire you just because of your family background. She secretly said in her heart, but one day, I will rely on my own ability to stand at a height that everyone will look up to. Christine thought about it and felt that her state of mind had improved a little. This Governor Chen is really amazing. He finally made me recognize myself. Christine wasted a lot of time on Haiyan Star, but now it seems that this time is very worthwhile. Chen Mou's words and deeds are very strange, so strange that she is a little at a loss. In more than 20 years, she has never seen anyone like Chen Mou. Until this moment, Christine felt that she really knew him. The whole world is drunk and I am the only one awake. The realm is too high. Chen Mou didn't know what Christine was thinking. If he knew, he would definitely have a lot of questions. This child, born in an ancient family, has been influenced by it since childhood, and his mind is too deep. I'm just having fun, why do you have to? The two of them rose to a high altitude and began to compete. Christine has always been arrogant, and naturally has the capital to be arrogant. She is in the realm of a high-level law scholar, and her combat power is stronger than many old-fashioned high-level law scholars. The laws are turbulent, the wind is swirling, and the two of them attack domineeringly, attracting a lot of attention from below. This slutty fox. Zhao Muring snorted coldly. What is the most beautiful woman in the Federation? The cold fairy, and she keeps coming up to Governor Chen when she sees him. Others were amazed and amazed. On that day, Chen Mou took action and killed 12 high-level law scholars and 2 saints in a row. The scene was bigger than this, but many people were in the battle at that time and had no time to pay too much attention. At this time, you can concentrate on appreciating the process of the two mobilizing the laws of heaven and earth and fighting with martial arts. This opportunity is rare, but it is rare. Everyone stopped their work and looked into the distance, hoping to learn something. Governor Chen is not to be mentioned. Christine's ability to control the laws also opened their eyes. This woman's strength is indeed far above many so-called geniuses and veteran strongmen. In the end, Chen Mou still gained the advantage and secured the victory. Christine said goodbye to Chen Mou and left on the spaceship. Miss, this Governor Chen is really amazing. I think he has even greater potential than Chi Wenru and Sir Francis. Inside the spaceship, a woman with a pretty face and a high level of realm spoke. She is Christine's direct subordinate in the military, and is also a talent cultivated by the family. She has a close relationship with Christine. Seeing Christine close her eyes and keep silent, she seems to be a little shocked. Yes, Miss has always been the best in her age group since she was a child. Now she is defeated by a person of the same age. It must be a little difficult to accept. No, no. Christine suddenly opened her eyes and shook her head gently. No. The pretty woman was stunned. Did this Governor Chen win by some shady tricks? Many young people like to show off in front of me, but he just wants me to leave quickly and doesn't want to perform too well. Christine analyzed. No wonder she always felt something was wrong just now. After careful thinking, she finally understood. He must have hidden his strength, but according to the above theoretical analysis, why didn't he suppress his strength to just tie with me, or even slightly lose? Because he thinks that it is unreasonable to tie with me. It feels like the performance is too fake and too hard. So his real strength has reached the level where he can easily defeat me. Christine's analysis made the pretty girl stunned on the spot, unable to recover for a long time. Chapter 337, She is a grain of sand in the world. Muning, come here. Chen Mou waved. Zhao Muning ran over cheerfully. Governor Chen, what's up? During this period, Zhao Muning was very busy with a reconstruction. Despite being busy, the losses in the Haiyan Star area were also quite serious, but Zhao Muning was still very happy. After all, they won the final victory. In the past, when the Haiyan Star area clashed with the Qingyang domain, it was always the human side that suffered. This time, it was just the opposite. Humans won an unprecedented victory. It was mostly due to Chen Mou that they turned the situation from being about to fail into victory. Therefore, Zhao Muning's attitude towards Chen Mou was surprisingly good recently. Has the district government called on us to donate some military merit recently? Chen Mou asked. After the First War, there were ruins everywhere, and the human base suffered heavy damage, with countless losses. The economy, materials, etc. plummeted. But there was one thing that grew against that trend, and that was military merit. The Qingyang domain forces on Haiyan Star were almost wiped out. How much military merit did this translate into? I'm afraid few people can tell clearly. The soldiers who survived the battle had their military merits increased significantly. As for the soldiers who died in the battle, the district government converted their military merits into bank deposits, supplemented them with a part of the pension, and handed them over to their relatives. The main reason why the district called on everyone to donate part of their military merits was that the finances were too poor and stretched. In addition to using military merits to buy spiritual medicines for cultivation, military merits can also be applied to the central government of Huaki state to purchase various materials. In a word, things that can be bought with money can be bought with military merits, and things that cannot be bought with money can still be bought with military merits. However, military merits are earned by everyone's hard work, and the district will not force donations, but just mention it and make a little call. Zhao Mengeng replied, "Yes, Governor, do you want to donate a little to set an example? Donation is definitely necessary, but forget about being an example." Chen Mou took out the military merit card. "Please donate it for me, just donate 2.8 million. Chen Mou got 5.6 million military merits in the battle. Donating 2.8 million is exactly half. Zhao Mengeng was stunned. "You don't have to donate so much?" The number of 2.8 million really scared Zhao Mengeng. How long did she save to save 10,000 military merits? Chen Mou gave 2.8 million at once. "How many times is this?" "It's okay, I still have a lot left in my card, enough for me to practice." Chen Mou didn't care about it. Even if he donated 2.8 million, there would still be surplus. This is also the reason why Chen Mou is willing to donate so much. Military merits are enough for use, there is no need to save them like a miser. Do you put it there and wait for interest? After using it up, just continue to earn it. "Okay, then I'll donate it." Zhao Mengeng also knew that Chen Mou was a big dog and had a lot of military merits. However, Chen Mou donated so much, and other people really couldn't learn. The military merits they earned were not enough, so they could only donate a little to show their appreciation. Zhao Mengeng hurried away, and returned not long after, returning the card to Chen Mou. Chen Mou called up the interface and bought some spiritual fruits for practice. Feeling that his cultivation level was improving slowly, he planned to use a year to try to reach the realm of the saint. In the past, Chen Mou only spent tens of thousands of military merits in a month of cultivation. Now, in order to speed up, he can consider increasing the number of military merits consumed per month to 200,000. Of course, this is a bit wasteful. With 200,000 a month, he might not be able to absorb the medicinal power if he buys too many spiritual medicines. However, Chen Mou has a lot of surplus and doesn't care about this little military merit. He has to pile up his cultivation level. His spiritual consciousness, state of mind, and understanding of the realm are not a problem. He only lacks physical strength. Pursuing the speed of cultivation will not cause an unstable foundation. While Chen Mou was considering the future path of cultivation, when Haiyan Star was carrying out construction, Zhang Xingteng and others encountered a crisis. In the dark and desolate universe, Zhang Xingteng, Li Xingming, and Qin Yihan, the trio, hid in a group of meteorites. The fleet of Qingyang domain surrounded them. The leading few were all in the realm of saints. The two strongest ones were in the middle stage of saints, and the other 7 were in the initial stage of saints. This kind of strength is enough to crush Zhang Xingteng and the other 3. Surrender, haha, there is no point in struggling in vain. In the vacuum, the sound cannot be transmitted. The spiritual wave of a Qingyang domain saint swept over, and everyone clearly sensed the information he conveyed. Zhang Xingteng coughed lightly, with a little blood at the corner of his mouth. "I was careless. I was actually surrounded by them. It's hard to escape." Qin Yihan's spiritual wave flashed. "I didn't expect that Qingyang domain hated us so much. There are too many people dispatched." Li Xingming didn't speak, but just smiled bitterly. A heavy atmosphere enveloped the 3 people. They all had a premonition that today was probably not a good day. "I'm really unwilling." Zhang Xingteng thought of Wen Cheng. The blood feud had not been avenged, but maybe there would be no chance again. The only thing that made him a little relieved was that his daughter Zhang Xiaotong had grown up. She graduated from Mingdao University and has joined the Starry Sky battlefield for quite some time. Zhang Xingteng didn't want his daughter to go to the battlefield, but he couldn't persuade her after all. "Silly daughter, I'm afraid that daddy can't take care of you anymore. You have to learn to be strong and stop being naughty." The past was like a movie, and scenes flashed through Zhang Xingteng's mind. Looking back, he felt that he had spent his whole life in frustration and disappointment. A fickle villain like Wang Cheng was doing well, but he, who was honest and loyal, was frustrated everywhere. But Zhang Xingtang did not regret it, at least his life was valuable and meaningful. How to define whether life is successful? Wang Cheng was just a poor worm who lost himself. We will break out together later. Zhang Xingtang sent a message with his spiritual sense. I will cover the rear and block it, and you will take the opportunity to escape. Zhang Xingtang didn't know whether the two could escape, but at least he had to try his best and not be wiped out. How can this be done? We must fight side by side. Li Xingming and Qin Yihan both expressed their opposition. Zhang Xingtang's face turned serious. Listen to me, don't act on impulse. The result of fighting together can only be annihilation of the whole army. Qin Yihan, let's die, we must die together. Li Xingming, oh my, you are showing off your love. Luckily I have a wife, I won't eat this love. Qin Yihan snorted silently and looked at Zhang Xingtang. I have always wanted to tell you something in my heart, but if I don't say it today, I am afraid I will never have the chance again. I like you. Alice, I can't give you any response. Zhang Xingtang sighed. Actually, I already knew your feelings, but I still can't forget her. Her cultivation talent is not as high as yours, and her appearance is not as beautiful as yours, but I just like her. I fell in love with her at first sight. She is just a grain of sand in the world, but she happened to fall into my eyes. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 338 Breakout. I understand. It's okay. I've been holding this in my heart for a long time. I feel much better after I said it out. Qin Yihan didn't look disappointed. Zhang Xingtang, so, I'm stopping you. You guys go quickly. If you can escape, go back and help me take care of my daughter. Qin Yihan, if you say you won't leave, then you won't leave. Let's break out together, fighting and retreating. We may have a chance to escape. Li Xingming, why are you two looking at me? Am I such a disloyal person? I've fought with you for so many years, it's time to fight side by side. Okay, let's break out together. Zhang Xingtang knew that he couldn't persuade the two men. While the three were communicating, the energy beam of the warship had swept over, causing many meteorites to explode directly. After choosing a direction, the three showed the power of the saints and broke out by force. Humph, you still want to struggle, let me see how I can destroy you. The two Qingyang domain leaders who were in the middle stage of the saints pressed down with one palm, and all the energy in the nearby void was extracted and slapped towards the three people. The other 7 saints also made a move and intercepted the 3 people on their escape route. When the war started, Qingyang domain laid a net of heaven and earth, not giving the 3 people any chance to escape. Everything was based on stability. Even if some good opportunities to severely injure the 3 people were given up, they would not let them find the slightest possibility of escape. I will burst out my power and tear open a gap, and you will take the opportunity to escape. Zhang Xingtang sent a message. Together. The two responded. Zhang Xingtang sighed, and the 3 of them burst out their potential together, and their combat power suddenly increased, tearing open a gap. Can't escape. The saint headed by Qingyang domain also burst out and chased after them. A chase unfolded like lightning. The saints fought desperately, and their speed was so fast that even the warships had a little difficulty catching up and fell behind. Everyone flashed repeatedly in the vacuum, and the energy of heaven and earth was extracted, pushing their bodies forward at a very fast speed. The leader of Qingyang domain caught up first. His palm was like a sky curtain, and in an instant he intercepted the escape route of Zhang Xingtang and the other 3. During the collision of forces, they were blocked for a while, and the other saints of Qingyang domain immediately caught up. This situation has actually happened many times. Before Zhang Xingtang and the other 2 escaped from the meteorite group, they were already seriously injured, and at the same time, a lot of potential was released in the battle. Now the situation is repeated. The battle broke out again, and the 3 of them couldn't stand the frequent burning of potential. Zhang Xingtang had a flash of thought in his mind, and remembered that he had been besieged by Qingyang territory a long time ago, and his potential was burned out, and he was seriously injured and finally collapsed. Today's situation is so similar. But the situation is probably worse than it was then. The 3 of them laughed bitterly, feeling a little desperate. Let's fight, and see if we can kill one or two and earn back some capital. The three of them started to fight desperately, determined to die together. Unfortunately, the opponent's advantage is overwhelming, and even if the three of them fight hard, they can't get any advantage. Zhang Xingtang feels that he is getting weaker and weaker. Even if he can escape this time, I'm afraid his cultivation will decline, and his potential is too seriously depleted. I'm unwilling to give up. I haven't taken revenge yet, I haven't seen the fall of Qingyang domain, and I haven't been with my daughter and lived a peaceful life. Zhang Xingtang tried his best to improve his combat power, but his eyes became dimmer. The eternal life secret was running over and over again, providing him with strength, but the speed of running was getting slower and slower. It's not that the eternal life secret is not working, but his body can't bear it. After a long battle, he felt that his body was hollowed out. Li Xingming and Qin Yihan also looked shaky. No, I want to live and go back alive. I also want to see my daughter. Zhang Xingtang's body was on the verge of collapse, but his spirit was still firm. Think of a way. Zhang Xingtang gritted his teeth and persisted, and suddenly felt a trace of new vitality sprouting in his body. This trace of vitality was very weak, but like water in the desert, it brought new hope. I know. The third level of the eternal life secret is to live towards death. I was once abandoned, but I gathered my vitality again, repaired my injured body, and reshaped my potential. Before I got the eternal life secret, the days when I was discouraged and decadent were not completely wasted. I still accumulated a lot of things. It was hidden in the deepest part of my body. Even after getting the eternal life secret, it was not activated. Now it is revealed. Explode for me, break through the shackles. Zhang Xingtang roared in his heart, and the whole person was like the protagonist of destiny, breaking through on the battlefield. The body was like a dead tree coming back to life, rekindling vitality. What? This change shocked everyone in Qingyang domain. He was almost dead, but he could still break through. It was completely inconsistent with cognition. This is a real world, and you shouldn't be able to do whatever you want with a belief. However, things really happened. Zhang Xingtang's breath surged, and his power pulled Li Xingming and Qin Yihan to break through and escape again. Although he broke through, his realm was not stable, and there were 9 saints on the opposite side, and he still couldn't beat them. It's better to escape first. The saints of Qingyang domain chased them madly, but Zhang Xingtang at this moment was no longer the same as before, and his speed increased dramatically. Li Xingming and the other two also cooperated, bursting out at an extremely fast speed, with a strong desire to survive. Luca. The saints of Qingyang domain looked at the three people's backs as they went away, and they were furious, throwing out a classic Chinese curse. Unfortunately, the vacuum was silent, and cursing was futile, just like their helpless current situation. Damn it, I should celebrate for surviving a disaster, but why am I a little unhappy? You kid broke through so quickly. After the three came to the safe zone, Li Xingming was a little depressed. He always loved to compete with Zhang Xingtang, and now he was suppressed again. Alice, I was not far from breaking through, Qin Yihan said. It's a pity that I was seriously injured in this battle, and I consumed a lot of potential. But I have a lot of experience in practicing the secret of immortality now, and I will use military merits to exchange for some spiritual medicines, and I think I will recover soon. You are about to break through. Li Xingming felt that his heart was stabbed by an arrow again. In the starry sky, the wind was surging. This was a turbulent time. The battlefield situation became increasingly severe, some people died, and many heroes rose up with the help of war. Qi Wenru, the leader of the Xingai Aeolist in Huaqi country, was the first to break through to the realm of the sage. He was 39 years old that year. Then, Francis of the Xingai Federation broke through to the realm of the sage at the age of 37. Bradrick of the Tuka Empire, Yusuk Rukal and others were not to be outdone, and they were also promoted in the following days. No one expected the next breakthrough. Her name was Christine. It was not that she was not expected to break through to the sage, but that she was not expected to break through at this age. When she broke through, Christine was only 27 years old, and she was the best in the world. Chapter 339, Undercurrent, 2 chapters merged into one. What do you think about this? Xiao Zishenyi held a stack of information in his hand and shook his head. On it were analysis reports of some newly promoted saints. That's good. There are quite a few people who have been promoted to saints recently, which will help relieve the pressure on the front line. In troubled times, People will become dragons when they encounter storms. Military advisor Tang Jianan gently shook his feather fan. That's what he said, but the speed of Saint's promotion in Qingyang domain has also increased. If we cancel each other out, we still have no advantage. Chen Ni said. That's a problem. Tang Jianan glanced at Chen Ni. Why do you look so depressed? Isn't this the thing I always consider? Could it be that you have figured it out recently and want to share my worries? Then I would be really grateful. Chen Ni waved his hands. No, I'm upset mainly because of that old man from the Star Moon Federation. He acted so proud in front of me the day before yesterday. Aren't there just 2 young people breaking through? There's only one more than in our Huiki. Look how proud he is. Chen Kangsheng coughed. Pay attention to your image. We are all friendly countries. Friendly countries are actually the same as friendly merchants. They appear to be harmonious on the surface, but behind the scenes they wish the other party bad luck. Chen Ni muttered. Of course, we still have to be united against the enemy Qingyang domain before we get rid of it. Tang Jianan tapped the table lightly. A 27-year-old saint is indeed a little crazy. The national strength of the Star Moon Federation is a little stronger than our Huiki, and this woman is known as a genius that is rare in the Star Moon Federation in 1,000 years. Do you believe in destiny? According to my research, when a country encounters a crisis, a person who is destined to be born will gather destiny from all directions, carry destiny, and turn the tide when the country is in turmoil. Chen Ni said, are you saying that Christine is the son of destiny? That's ridiculous. Look at you, you are a charlatan, studying some mysterious things all day long. But this time I believe it. I feel that I may be the son of destiny. Are you still flattering yourself? You don't know what's going on, right? Tang Jianan glanced at him. Okay, no more jokes. Chen Ni became a little more serious. I have to say that even with a large supply of resources and the reason for fighting on the battlefield, a 27-year-old saint is still too exaggerated. She will definitely not stop at the saint, but what I am worried about is that the domain master is not the end. After the words fell, the 3 of them were silent for a while. Surpassing the realm of the domain master? That might shake the power structure of the entire Zijixing. The Zijixing civilization does not allow such a powerful person to exist. If it were a peaceful time, Tang Jianan would have already used assassination and other means, and it is very likely that he would have done it himself. Not only Huiki Kingdom would take action, but Taka Empire and Liuchuan Kingdom might also have such thoughts. It is not the lack of power that is worrying, but the imbalance. The pattern of the top 4 cannot be broken. But now facing the threat of Qingyang territory, assassination is not feasible. You can't fight among yourself first. You have to put the overall situation first. They even have to send blessings cheerfully on the surface. Chen Ni said, I came here today mainly for this problem. How do you think we can solve it? With Qingyang territory by our side, we must unite among our countries. But if we really wait until the war with Qingyang territory is over, I think this woman will have grown up and no one can control her. Tang Jianan looked at Chen Kangsheng. What do you think? Chen Kangsheng shook his head. How do I know? If you say you want to do it, I will go and chop her up without saying a word, but you said we can't do it. Of course not. Let's not talk about the issue of joining forces to fight the enemy. She must have the old immortal behind her to protect her. Apart from anything else, the oldest person in her family is also a domain master. Tang Jianan denied this plan. I have an idea. Chen Ni suddenly raised his hand, attracting the attention of the 2 people opposite. We can learn from the wisdom of our ancestors. There is a saying of marriage in ancient times. Since we can't touch her, why don't we let our young talents work hard to seduce her and let her marry to our Huiki country? Chen Ni talked freely, satisfied with his strategy. What era is this? Why are you still doing this? I thought you had a good idea, but I thought too much? Tang Jianan and Chen Kangsheng shook their heads repeatedly, and their speechless expressions made Chen Ni depressed. Such a good idea, why don't these 2 people accept it? Do you dare to underestimate the wisdom of our ancestors? Okay, let's stop here for today's discussion. I will take care of this matter myself. Tang Jianan looked confident. No matter if there is a way or not, he still had to be as steady as an old dog on the surface. 3 days later, Chen Ni hurried over again. You are good, Tang Jianan. You are good at using a knife to kill someone. Christine was sniped by Qingyang domain and was seriously injured. But it's a pity that she escaped in the end. Tang Jianan looked a little stunned. Huh? I didn't expect them to be so cruel. Yet, I also think that Haiyan domain is really cruel. For a newly promoted saint, they made a big fuss. The domain lord was dispatched, but as you expected, she had someone protecting her behind her, and the domain lord failed to assassinate her. Chen Mou said. That's not what I meant. It wasn't me who asked Haiyan territory to move. Tang Jianan said. I understand. I won't tell anyone about this. If anyone tries to probe, we have to deny it outright. It's not good to be called a collaborator. Chen Mou looked as if he understood. Tang Jianan. It's really not me. I just met with those people from the Tuka Empire and the Rukal Kingdom a few days ago and discussed this matter. We plan that if the Star Moon Federation becomes powerful in the future, the three of us will join forces to fight the enemy. I didn't expect that some of them would be more cruel than me and would just throw the news to the Haiyan domain. Chen Mou. Then it's rare for you to have integrity. In the past, you would do anything to get what you want. Oh, no. Do you think I would believe you? Do you think I'm at the same level as before? You didn't use the Haiyan domain's knife to kill people, but you borrowed the hands of the other two countries and asked them to borrow the Haiyan domain's knife. I guess you used a lot of rhetoric to provoke them when you met. Borrowing a knife from a distance, this trick is played well. Good guy, you are still the cunning one. Tang Jianan's expression changed. I didn't expect that even you could see it. It seems that my plan is not appropriate. Others didn't think about it at the time, but maybe they will come to their senses afterwards. I thought it was perfect, but my wisdom is still not enough. Tang Jianan reflected deeply. They are all a bunch of old foxes. They can't treat others as fools. Chen Mou's face flushed. What do you mean even I can see it? Am I very stupid? I can see it because I have been in contact with you for a long time and understand your methods. People from other countries may really think that this matter has little to do with Tang Jianan. This is not impossible. Tang Jianan is too suspicious. He is at the 5th level and his opponent is at the 2nd level, but he insists on imagining the opponent as the 6th level. All day long I predict your predictions, and then I wonder if you will predict that I have predicted your predictions, so I have to go deeper and continue to predict. Chen Mou was thinking when he heard Tang Jianan continue. This time, Haiyan territory took action, and the territory lords also moved. The nature is still quite bad. We had a tacit understanding before. The territory lords restrained each other and would not take action easily. It seems that I have to contact the Xingyu Federation and work together to warn Haiyan territory. On the one hand, I will do the Federation a favor, and on the other hand, I can stabilize the overall situation. Looking at Tang Jianan's departing back, Chen Mou snorted, Old fox, old cunning, you were the first to come up with a strategy of instigation, and you also went to do favors for the Xingyu Federation, and you took all the benefits. In the following period of time, the starry sky was surging, and a series of secret struggles unfolded around Christine. Finally, several countries reached a consensus, abandoned their prejudices, and united to deal with the Haiyan territory first. So the 4 countries once again restored their harmonious appearance, and everyone was fine. Whoever encountered difficulties, those who were capable would support them. After the fight with Haiyan territory, the planet was reduced to ruins, and some supplies would be sent to each other. The Star Moon Federation was a little depressed. They were secretly attacked by someone several times, and they really didn't know who the murderer was. They couldn't find out. The 3 countries all denied it, saying that Haiyan territory discovered the threat of Christine on its own. As the saying goes, a tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind, but this matter has nothing to do with them. This possibility is there, but if you really say that they are all innocent, the Star Moon Federation really doesn't believe it. But in any case, they can only swallow this breath. Fortunately, there is an external enemy, Haiyan territory, otherwise the 3 families would really join forces to suppress the Star Moon Federation. There was a mess outside, but life on Liu Ian Star was still peaceful. The human base was being built steadily and slowly restored to its former state. Haiyan territory was not willing to give up this place completely, and sent some strong men to choose a site in the northern hemisphere for reconstruction. Because there were very few ordinary people in Haiyan territory, most of them were military personnel, their reconstruction was simpler than that of the human side. After all, they didn't have to take care of civilians. The 2 sides looked at each other from a distance and confronted each other in the air. Zhao Mengang's original prediction came true. Even if Lao Du's forces were defeated, Qingyang territory would send new personnel. This time, Qingyang territory has 2 saints in charge, and there are also many law scholars under their command. They are stronger than in the Lao Du era. The forces of Qingyang territory are getting stronger and stronger. Zhao Mengding sighed softly. The effect of destroying the forces on Liu Iron Star is not as great as imagined. The headquarters of Qingyang territory cannot eradicate them, and the local victory is insignificant. That is the front line, the battlefield of the domain master, the saints of high level, and the gathering place of cutting-edge weapons. Let's maintain this situation first. Our base can't afford to fight. The losses in the battle a year ago were too great. Qingyang territory probably doesn't want to take action, but it is unwilling to give up Liu Iron Star and the mineral deposits inside the planet. Chen Mou looked into the distance. By the way, I'll go out for a while. Chen Mou's figure rose up. After a year, he was ready to try to impact the realm of saints. In a dark and drowsy place with no one, Chen Mou floated in the air with his hands open. The air currents began to converge, with Chen Mou as the center, and cyclones surged endlessly. The wind circle was expanding, from the size of a football field to the size of a town, then to the county, to the city, and finally to the area that could cover 3 provinces. What's going on? Inside the Qingyang domain base, someone observed this unusual movement through instruments. Is a typhoon forming? That place was not the sea surface, but the wind on Liu Iron Star was unpredictable. Even if it was not the sea surface, it could occasionally gather some huge wind circles. The wind speed was very fast. This typhoon was much more powerful than the Century Super Typhoon on Ziji Star. It's far away from our Qingyang domain base, don't worry about it. One person didn't care about it. Typhoons and earthquakes are common in Liu Iron Star, but they don't threaten them. It feels wrong. If it were an ordinary typhoon, it should move. The eye of this thing has not moved for a long time. It has always been in the same place, but the influence of the wind circle is constantly expanding. A technician in Qingyang region called up the detection image and felt that something was wrong. Can you take a picture of the inside of the eye of the storm? No, we don't have any camera equipment there, and the satellite can't take a clear picture. The visibility is too low. Report the situation. Let the adults decide on this matter. If the situation is not right, we can't take the blame. Not long after, a law scholar came and looked at the situation proudly in the awe of everyone. It doesn't conform to natural phenomena. It should be man-made. Law scholars can control celestial phenomena, but to create a wind circle covering the size of 3 provinces, this. At first he was still calm in his analysis, but slowly, his face became wrong. Wait, I'll ask the adults to come. The law scholar jumped up in shock and ran out quickly. 3 minutes later, a saint arrived and said, such a large wind circle would be difficult to create in other places, but the wind on Liu Iron Star is strong. If Brother Zhai and I work together to guide and cultivate it slowly, it is not impossible to create such a large typhoon. After this analysis, he felt that he had a bottom line in his heart and the situation was still under control. Could it be that Chen Mou and Zhao Wenlin took action at the same time? What do you want to do by cultivating a typhoon? Don't we have a tacit understanding to rest and recuperate for the time being and not to start a war? But this typhoon is so far away from our Qingyang domain base that it can't affect here. So, it's not going to start a war. He casually asked, how long has this typhoon appeared? It would take 3 or 4 days to guide and gather the typhoon that covers the 3 provinces. It has appeared for half a day. The technician replied. Half a day. The Qingyang domain saint was stunned. You mean, after this wind circle reached such a large area, it lasted for half a day? My lord, that's not the case. According to records, it took half a day for the typhoon to appear and grow to cover the 3 provinces. Upon hearing this, the Qingyang domain saint's face changed drastically. You guys monitor closely first. I'm going to report the matter to the Lord above. Chapter 340? Another assassination. Okay, I got it. Qingyang domain saint Shazir hung up the phone with a somewhat ugly expression on his face. He had just asked his superiors for instructions, and the reply he got was, now the troops are tight, and we have no way to spare any manpower for the time being. You should monitor closely first. If the situation is extremely unfavorable, you can retreat strategically. I'm still retreating strategically. If I'm really targeted, can I escape? Lu Du and Yin Wu were chased and beaten by others. Shaz really wanted to retreat now, but his superior's instructions were that he could only retreat when the situation was extremely unfavorable. There was no way. He could only order the technicians to closely monitor the wind circle, and report immediately if there were any signs of movement. Moved. After an hour, someone came to report, which scared Shaz so much that he immediately prepared to take everyone away with him. But soon Shaz figured out that the wind circle was not moving towards the Qingyang domain base, but was moving away in a slightly farther direction. There was an ice sea there. Keep observing closely. Although he was a little panicked, Shaz did not show it at all, and still looked majestic. Above the ice sea, the wind became stronger and stronger, especially near Chen Mou. The wind was like a knife blade, cutting on the ice surface, breaking the ice layer, and stirring up the seawater below. Chen Mou was gathering his strength, and the power of heaven and earth was added, and the vast storm was spread over the sea. This child must not be left. In the dim sky, a person hovered in the air, looking into the distance. His breath was completely restrained, and the whole person seemed to be integrated with a void, distorting all the vision and perception around him. Even if someone looked over here, it would be impossible to discover his existence. Chen Mou's breath became more and more intense, and thunder streaked across the sky, tearing the sky apart. Scenes began to emerge. Above the dome, it seemed as if the gate of heaven was opened, and an unpredictable force descended from above and passed on to Chen Mou. The blue sky was bottomless, and the sun and the moon shone on the gold and silver platform. The rainbow is the clothes and the wind is the horse, and the kings of the clouds are coming down one after another. People in the distance, looking at this scene, are shocked. What is this? Is it to ascend to the destiny and be ranked among the immortals? Light and shadow intertwined, condensing into an illusory figure, like a king in the world, like an immortal descending to the world, with a pressure that makes people tremble. In front of these lofty figures, even the Qingyang domain lords who made people feel irresistible seemed to become ants. This scene has completely shocked a mysterious man hidden in the void. But his killing intention is more determined. Inspired by the power of the vision, Chen Mou's breath surged again. The unparalleled power was about to pierce the sky. The storm boiled and rushed over. The noisy and violent wind whirl seemed to have a trace of emotion, like worshipping a monarch. It's now. The mysterious man in the void moved. His figure was like lightning, breaking through the endless space in an instant, and killing in front of Chen Mou. Chen Mou's aura was like a deep sea, and it was still rising steadily. It was the critical moment of the breakthrough. This was the peak state of Chen Mou's combat power, but it could also be said to be his weakest moment. The mysterious man had experienced the stage of breaking through to the saint, and knew this feeling. The breakthrough process was extremely difficult, and he needed to immerse his mind and not be distracted for a moment. Once the state of sympathy with heaven and earth was slightly disturbed, it would be difficult to maintain. At the least, the breakthrough would be interrupted, and it would take a long time to adjust back, and at the worst, he would be backlashed and injured. Other saints break through carefully, or ask for someone to protect them, or find an uninhabited place, set up a formation, and conceal the fluctuation of their aura. You, Chen Mou, are really arrogant. The mysterious man's eyes flashed with cold murderous intent, and his palm fell like a heavenly knife. This palm carried his Dao principle, blessed his will, and gathered his endless combat power. This palm was like the sky falling, and it was impossible to avoid or resist. The mysterious man smiled at the corner of his mouth, and he had already won. At this moment, a wave of spiritual consciousness came. You have been staring at me for 3 hours. Do you really think that you are hiding well? If it were an ordinary saint, he would not be able to find the trace of this person, but Chen Mou was different. Every whirlwind was his eyes and ears. The mysterious man was shocked and a little bit unbelievable. But his hand was still slashing steadily, as fast as lightning. 2 cold lightnings suddenly pierced out of Chen Mou's eyes, and the unparalleled spiritual fluctuations rolled towards the other party. This is the spiritual power of the domain master level, and it is even stronger than when Chen Mou just came out of the ancient mysterious realm. The ancient god lighthouse was also shaking. Although it still stayed in Chen Mou's sea of consciousness and did not emerge, the great power of the god had penetrated. The mysterious man's soul was hit hard, and his palm followed the inertia and cut Chen Mou's body. There was no weapon in his hand, but it was much more ferocious than a weapon. Without the violent power, it directly cut Chen Mou's body horizontally in 2. Ah! A shrill roar came out of the mysterious man's mouth. The sound was like a cowardly little girl who was tied up and forced to watch a few horror movies, which made people feel sympathy. Compared with the mysterious man's shrillness, Chen Mou said nothing. He silently mobilized the laws and operated a magic dragon body forging method to glue the body that was cut into two pieces together. Dead cells were transported out, damaged cells were healing quickly, new cells were constantly dividing and generating, and torn organs were reassembled. Chen Mou didn't say a word, not because he was stronger than the other party. The other party screamed so miserably mainly because of the pain in his soul, which was 100 times more painful than the physical pain. Wang Cheng? You are Wang Cheng. Chen Mou laughed. Although the other party had changed his face a lot, he still recognized him. Wang Cheng had no time to answer, no mood to answer, or maybe he didn't hear Chen Mou's words at all. It hurts. Chen Mou's body was repaired quickly, and his spirit was high again. He suddenly attacked with overwhelming power and killed Wang Cheng. Wang Cheng had no time to reply just now, but now that he was in a life and death crisis, he reacted. He opened his blood-red eyes, raised his hand to block Chen Mou's attack, and then used this power to quickly escape. There is a road to heaven, but you don't take it. There is no door to hell, but you throw yourself into it. Wang Cheng, we will meet again. Chen Mou stood with his hands behind his back, his clothes rustling. He did not chase him. The speed of the other party's escape was extraordinary. He probably used a secret method to forcibly stimulate his potential. After today's battle, Wang Cheng would be skinned alive if he didn't die. Chen Mou only suffered injuries that could be completely healed within 10 minutes. Thinking back to that day, Wang Cheng was so arrogant that he sneaked into the campus with a law and chased Chen Mou to the point where he had no way to go to heaven or to the ground. Now, you are just a dog in front of me, and you are no longer qualified to compete with me. Chen Mou retracted his gaze, accepted the destiny, and continued the process of breakthrough. Wang Cheng is just a jumping clown. His target and opponent should be in the central galaxy. Chapter 341, Wang Cheng fails again. Who? It took Wang Cheng a whole day to stabilize the injury on his soul. It was just stabilized, not cured. His realm also dropped from the high stage of saint to the middle stage of saint. Saints need to comprehend the world and draw the power of nature. Every move is blessed by the power of heaven. At this moment, the soul is injured, and the connection with the world is also weakened. The realm will naturally fall. Chen Mou, how is it possible? Wang Cheng never thought that the fatal blow would end in his great defeat. He is a high-stage saint, and the opponent is only a high-stage law scholar, even though he is about to break through. The gap is like heaven and earth. Wang Cheng thought very well. In terms of strength, he is absolutely suppressing Chen Mou. The reason why he has to hide in the void and wait for an opportunity is that he is worried that Chen Mou has some secret method to escape from his hands. The moment Chen Mou breaks through will be his weakest time, and he can't escape. Cut Chen Mou into two with a knife, and then bombard him in a series of attacks, tearing every inch of the opponent's flesh and blood into pieces, and finally leaving in a chick manner. But Wang Cheng only completed the first step, and the opponent's counterattack caught him off guard. Then he activated the secret technique and fled in embarrassment. It was a mistake. With his talent and means, I'm afraid no one can stop him from breaking through to the saint. Wang Cheng felt a little regretful in his heart, regretting that he had offended Chen Mou. The initial grudge with Chen Mou was in the trial secret realm of Xinghua Academy. Wang Cheng issued a task through a secret channel and asked Director Lu to assassinate the two. The original target was actually Lin Chuanzhou, and Chen Mou was just a byproduct. Why did he kill Lin Chuanzhou? Because Qingyang Domain and Wang Cheng made a deal. If they found any genius, they could negotiate with Qingyang Domain. Wang Cheng was responsible for killing him, and Qingyang Domain would give corresponding rewards after success. This is not the first time Wang Cheng has done this. The reward is high and the risk is small, so why not do it? Seeing many saints go to the battlefield for a little military merit and fight to the death, Wang Cheng felt that they were really fools. Military merit is not difficult to earn, but it is not easy to earn. Everyone who wants to earn military merit has to take great risks. Wang Cheng had seen many saints who ranked very high on the military merit list. It was estimated that apart from the needs for cultivation, they had accumulated a lot of disposable military merit. But it was impossible to get away with Qingyang Domain. Their military merit was a life of Qingyang Domain. And it was not the life of an ordinary person, but the life of a strong man in Qingyang Domain. As the hatred deepened, King Haiyan Domain was ruthless and organized several waves of sieges to kill these big names in the vast sea of stars. At that time, Wang Cheng was still in the realm of a lost scholar. The more he knew, the more desperate he was. King Haiyan Domain was invincible. Therefore, Wang Cheng chose this path, a suitable and safe path. Wandering between major forces, without bias, helping whoever gave money and resources. Moreover, things can be left unfinished, but if they are done, no evidence or handles can be left. He is absolutely neutral. Before sending people to kill Lin Xuanzhu, Wang Cheng accidentally got a message that Chen Mou and Zhang Xingtang had a close relationship and were very talented. Wang Cheng did not ask King Haiyan Domain for more money, and took Chen Mou with him on his own. What happened later was unexpected. Chen Mou's cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds, and he was too strong. So Wang Cheng used the rule paper man to carry out another assassination. It was mainly for himself. He always felt that Chen Mou and Zhang Xingtang seemed to know something and might target him in the future. Of course, this time Wang Cheng did not forget to negotiate the price with King Haiyan Domain. Use other people's money to do your own business. This is called a master. As a result, the attack that was determined to win failed again. Then he was warned. As a saint, he did not contribute to the country, but messed around all day long. Although there was no evidence, the top leaders were already somewhat dissatisfied with him. Wang Cheng did not dare to move and began to live an honest life. If the will of the Hall of Fame was crushed, he would not be able to die even if he had 10 lives. Later, when he heard that Chen Mou had killed 2 saints in a row at the high level of the rule scholar, Wang Cheng was a little restless again. He knew that Chen Mou might know of his existence and had already held a grudge. There was no turning back. The two sides could not reconcile. When Chen Mou grew up smoothly, he would be the one to die, so Wang Cheng attacked brazenly. No matter how much he planned, he was only calculating how to clean up the mess, wipe out the aura, and prevent Tuokigawa from investigating him. What Wang Cheng did not expect was that he could not beat Chen Mou. What kind of spiritual power is this? In Wang Cheng's heart, fear grew like weeds. He shook his head, trying to get rid of this emotion, but people are emotional animals, and emotions are sometimes difficult to control. Chen Mou was successfully escaped many times when he targeted him. In the previous confrontation, Chen Mou was even more calm and composed. It seemed that he did not take him seriously at all. Wang Cheng admitted that he was careless and did not expect the other party to have such a strong spiritual power. If he was on guard, Chen Mou would not be so easy to succeed. It was just that the spiritual power was too strong. It was not just a matter of strength, but also attached with a trace of something that was difficult to explain. It was a kind of suppression in terms of rank, like a real dragon suppressing an ant. Wang Cheng's consciousness was almost trembling in the midst of the rank suppression. This man is too sinister, even more sinister than the military advisor. I wonder how many tricks he has hidden. Wang Cheng knew that the situation was over. He had not succeeded despite the huge difference in realm. Now Chen Mou has been promoted to saint, but he has fallen to the middle stage of the saint. The gap between the two sides has narrowed. What can he use to fight the other side? Above the IC, Chen Mou's black hair fluttered, his eyes were like lightning, and his aura was as unpredictable as the ocean. Saint, at this moment, he has reached the realm of saint. Report quickly, Chen Mou on the human side is suspected to have broken through to the realm of saint, request support. There was chaos in the King Haiyan Domain base. After a long period of monitoring and analysis, they finally analyzed how the giant typhoon was formed. Someone is breaking through the realm and triggering celestial phenomena. After receiving the report, Shaz Air was shocked again and quickly requested to talk to his superiors, requesting support. Chen Mou of the Liu Iant Star human base has been promoted to saint. His combat power is too strong. Please send an adult who is in the middle or even high level of the saint to help, otherwise we will be doomed. What? Chen Mou has been promoted. This is big news, your information is very timely. However, please think of a solution on your own first. The organization is under great pressure now, and there is really no manpower on the front line. The words came from the other end of the line. Then there was a busy tone. Damn it, I want to think of a solution, what can I do? Shaz Air was so angry that he threw the phone. No, everyone is on alert, now is the moment when the situation is extremely unfavorable, we are ready to retreat strategically at any time. Shaz Air passed down an order. Chapter 342, All Realms Are Shocked. Something big has happened. Tang Jianan paced back and forth in the hall, feeling a little irritated. What should we do? Christine's breakthrough before attracted countless attention, making the Xingyu Federation somewhat passive, but now Chen Mou has also broken through, and he is younger than Christine, which means that his talent is higher than Christine's. Old Tang, don't be so nervous. Didn't we reach an agreement with them some time ago? We must unite to fight against the Qingyang region. Chen Kangsheng said. Tang Jianan shook his head. It's just a verbal promise. Don't take it seriously. Even if it's written agreement, there is still a possibility of being torn up. Shen Ni looked nonchalant. Don't worry about it. Isn't Chen Mou the reincarnation of a god? Who can deal with him? Tang Jianan said. What you said makes sense, but we can't just sit there and watch. Chen Mou only used divine power when fighting Chu Xiaoxi, and I have never seen a similar situation before. I guess he can't use the power of God casually, and there must be great restrictions. Based on some clues, Tang Jianan easily deduced most of it. Chen Kangsheng said, it seems that the situation is not good. How about this? We follow the practice of the Xingyu Federation and protect Chen Mou. Tang Jianan said, okay, it is indeed dangerous at this stage. Old Chen, you will be responsible for protecting Chen Mou. After all, you were one family 500 years ago. But this is not a long-term solution. We have to think of another way. Or let Chen Mou hide first and practice silently, and then come out when he reaches the high level of a saint. Chen Kangsheng was a man of swift and decisive character. He didn't say much. He responded and set off immediately. Liu Ian Star. The Qingyang domain base was on alert. The two saints waited nervously, but they never waited for Chen Mou's attack. Shaz and others did not relax, but became more vigilant. The news of Chen Mou's breakthrough soon spread throughout the starry sky. Qingyang domain, Xingyu Federation, Tuka Empire, Liuchuan Kingdom and other forces all paid close attention to this matter. The youngest saint under the starry sky. This title has been changing recently. At first it belonged to Qi Wenru, and then it was taken away by Francis. Then Christine took over the title. Now the title belongs to Chen Mou. Gossip is human nature. The crowd is looking forward to whether another genius will emerge out of thin air and take away Chen Mou's title. But this is almost impossible. There may be hidden geniuses in various forces and families, but Chen Mou is only 25 years old and less than 26 years old. Who can surpass this achievement of a saint at the age of 25? Others are still relying on their own families at the age of 25. When visiting other families, they have to communicate as juniors. But Chen Mou was already a saint at the age of 25. If he went to the Hall of Fame family, he could let the patriarch welcome him in person. One word is enough to affect the situation in a region. One person is a family. This is called a saint. Zijixing, a new name was added to the Hall of Fame of Huaki country, and it was spread throughout the country. Chen Mou, a 3020 alumnus of Xinghua Academy, has now been promoted to a saint and included in the Hall of Fame. Xinghua Academy seized this opportunity and made a big fuss. It is not surprising that the four famous schools have produced saints. There have been many examples in previous years. But it is unheard of for someone as young as Chen Mou. Now, it has been more than 3 years since Chen Mou graduated. Xinghua Academy's ranking among the four has never been very ideal. It has been repeatedly hovering between the second, third and fourth places, with the third place being the most common. The appearance of Chen Mou has made Xinghua proud. Now, please tell me, who is the big brother? When the news of Chen Mou's promotion to saint first spread to the country, everyone who heard it was wondering, which old and powerful person is Chen Mou? When the detailed information of Chen Mou, especially his age, was learned, the whole country was shocked. Almost no one believed it, and even subconsciously thought that the Hall of Fame had made a mistake. But the Hall of Fame has always been rigorous and has basically never made any mistakes. The triumphant publicity of Xinghua Academy has made everyone confirm the authenticity of the news. If the situation is not true, would Xinghua Academy dare to advertise it like this? Aren't they afraid of being slapped in the face? The top management of Xinghua is promoting the news vigorously, but the students who are currently studying in Xinghua Academy are all confused and dizzy. Some freshmen are still at the level of miracle apprentices, while a senior who has just graduated for more than 3 years has already reached the level of saints. Compared to Xinghua, which is as excited as the new year, Mingdao University and other schools are a little depressed. If Chu Xiaoxi hadn't disappeared inexplicably, with her talent, she would definitely not be inferior to Chen Mou. Xinghe would not dare to be so proud in front of us. Several teachers from Mingdao University talked about this privately. How did she disappear? The school leaders seemed to be very secretive about this. The Chu family lost a genius, but they didn't pursue it. It was so calm that it seemed as if nothing had happened. One person said puzzledly, "I don't know about this either. The news has been suppressed and those who know the truth have kept silent. There is a conspiracy, there must be a conspiracy. Are you talking nonsense? Although I don't know the inside story, this matter must be related to Chen Mou. Chu Xiaoxi met Chen Mou before she disappeared. I guess the two of them had a fierce competition in secret, and in the end Chen Mou was the better. SHH, be careful with your words. Now he is Chen Sheng. With his talent, he will definitely have a place on the throne in the future. Yes, let's not talk about this. Be careful not to say anything out of turn. It's a pity for Chu Xiaoxi, a genius with a promising future, but now his life or death is unknown. Maybe he was dealt with by Chen Mou, or imprisoned by him." Hearing the last sentence of this person, the expressions of the teachers present were a little subtle. Obviously they thought of something. Who said that teachers are serious? The most oppressed school is Mingdao University. After all, it is like a big brother, but now it is suppressed by Xinghe. But after all, there are still some people in Mingdao University who say that Chu Xiaoxi is not worse than Chen Mou. Yanshan University and Bixun University are a little annoyed. It seems that there are no outstanding figures in their schools. There are certainly geniuses, but they are nothing compared to Chen Mou. So they had to turn to talking about the way of training and wrote some articles. On the surface, they discussed the training of talents rationally, objectively and neutrally, but in fact they secretly implied that Chen Mou's achievements had nothing to do with Xinghe. All this is due to Chen Mou's own high talent. No matter which school he attends, the result will be the same. In Yanghui High School, principal who received the news and was skeptical for a while. At first, he thought it was a homonym, and later, after confirming that it was Chen Mou who walked out of Yanghui High School, he speculated whether the news from the Hall of Fame was wrong. It's not that principal who looks down on Chen Mou, the key thing is too bizarre. After seeing Xinghe Academy's vigorous promotion, principal who finally confirmed it, so he also followed the crazy promotion, rubbing the popularity of the saint and getting a taste of the joy. Chapter 343 Heading to the front. This boy's rise is unstoppable. Lin Huifang of the Lin family was silent for a long time after hearing the news, and then he sighed. How many years has he been stuck in the high level of the law scholar? 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years? Lin Huifang himself can't remember clearly. A level that can block countless people seems to be non-existent in front of Chen Mou. I don't understand the world of geniuses. I hope my granddaughter can be happy with him. Lin Huifang feels that the relationship between Chen Mou and the Lin family is a bit confusing. Originally, Chen Mou and Lin Chuanzhou had a close relationship, and Lin Huifang thought they would be a couple. At that time, Chen Mou was relatively weak and had no background. After Lin Huifang heard the news, he even thought about breaking up the two. Later, thinking about it, this was too futile. As an enlightened modern person, Lin Huifang decided to let his granddaughter make her own choice. However, to Lin Huifang's surprise, Chen Mou and Lin Chuanzhou did not get together, but instead got together with Lin Sichen. What kind of operation is this? Lin Huifang didn't understand the world and could only sigh at the young people's extravagance. Even a big man like Lin Huifang would be surprised and sigh, not to mention others. The name Chen Mou has set off a huge wave in the starry sky and on the purple pole star. As a result, many articles have appeared on the internet to take advantage of the hot topic. SYNOPSIS Group has also become popular recently. After all, Chen Mou used to be the spokesperson for the group's products. Although Chen Mou's endorsement period has long passed and the two parties have terminated the contract for a long time. But Chen Mou has never endorsed any product except this hike learning instrument, which makes it unique. Chen Mou has shot several commercials, but he has only endorsed one. The internal staff of SYNOPSIS Group were very surprised when they heard the news, but unfortunately they did not dare to publicize it. This kind of publicity is different from the publicity of Chen Mou's alma mater. After all, SYNOPSIS Group makes profits from it, and the nature is different. Chen Mou's endorsement contract has expired long ago. The internal staff of the group lamented again and again, why didn't the endorsement contract be renewed after it expired? After looking through the records, it turned out that after the contract expired, the relevant personnel of the group followed up and mentioned renewal, But unfortunately Chen Mou refused. At that time, Chen Mou's popularity as the top scorer in the written test had long disappeared, and his commercial value was not great. Since Chen Mou refused, the company agreed to it. Now I think about it, I really regret it. I should have persuaded him and insisted at that time. If the contract was renewed, a saint would be their spokesperson. What would the effect be? Zhai Group did not dare to advertise in violation of regulations. After all, the saints were too majestic, but they did not advertise, and people from all walks of life outside did not care so much. Some people who were busy dug up the fact that Chen Mou was the spokesperson at that time, so the sales of Zhai learning instruments soared again. I don't need to say more about the effect of a learning instrument recognized by saints, right? Dad, I heard that you have recently broken through to the saint. During the video call, Xiaobei waved her white and tender little hand, and her cute look did not change at all compared to when Chen Mou left. How did you know? Chen Mou was stunned. Xiaobei said in a childish voice, of course I know. The Hall of Fame released a message saying that Dad, you are now on the list. It has become known throughout the country. Now I run out and everyone calls me the little princess. Seeing Xiaobei's proud look, Chen Mou also shouted, hello, little princess. Xiaobei narrowed her eyes slightly, bending into a crescent shape. Dad, when will you come back? I miss you a little bit. Dad has something to do for the time being and can't get away. Xiaobei, you have to be good at home. Dad, since you can't come back, then I will go to find you. No, it's not safe for a child like you to stay here. Chen Mou said with some amusement. Besides, how are you going to come to find me? Of course I have a way. Xiaobei's confident look made Chen Mou a little confused. Did she ask the Lin family for help? But the Lin family should not agree unless they ask for my opinion. In addition, there should be no other way, otherwise you fly over? More, have you really been promoted to saint as they said? Chen Jianai, who was standing by, came up to him, his face full of doubt about life. Recently, he felt like he was living in a dream. His former colleagues and friends were in awe when they saw him. The richest man in Yonghui City came to visit him cordially, and then the mayor and other big shots. Ah, I got promoted accidentally. Chen Mou replied. He only dared to say this in front of his family. If he was asked by outsiders or interviewed by reporters, he would be included in the annual pretentious quotes if he dared to say this. I said, our son is the most powerful. By the way, Moore, you have been promoted to a saint. Have you found a girlfriend? When will you give me grandchildren to take care of? Tan Ziuan couldn't forget this matter. Why are you asking this again? Didn't I tell you before? I have a girlfriend, the one from the Lin family. You didn't believe it at the time. As for the child, there is no such thing. Just take Xiaobei with you to have fun. Chen Mou's replied disappointed Tan Ziuan. She could only hug Xiaobei to comfort her wounded heart. Chen Mou continued to chat with his family for a while, coaxed Xiaobei to stay at home, and finally hung up the phone. It is still quite troublesome to make a video call on the other side of the starry sky. Chen Mou's promotion to saint caused a sensation in the entire Liuan star, and many people came to congratulate him. But he was not going to stay here any longer and planned to rush to the front battlefield. Chen Kangshen, who disguised himself as an ordinary person and came secretly, was shocked when he heard the news and hurriedly dissuaded him. He and Tang Jianan and others were still thinking about letting Chen Mou hide for a while and avoid the limelight, but Chen Mou actually wanted to rush to the front line and run into the muzzle of the gun? Don't worry about that. I can't beat the Domain Lord now, but if I really want to get out, they can't do anything. Chen Mou replied indifferently. The Domain Lord controls the power of space. If he wants to trap and kill one person, it is extremely difficult for the opponent to escape. However, Chen Mou didn't seem to be afraid of this, and he was confident. Maybe, he has some means, after all, he is a god. Chen Kangsheng thought. Chen Mou's light words perfectly solved the recent worries of Chen Kangsheng and others. Even if the Domain Lord wants to snipe him, Chen Mou has a way to get out. Brother Chen Mou, are you leaving? Will you come back? Zhao Mengying was a little disappointed when he learned that Chen Mou was about to leave. Of course, I will come back. At that time, it will be a full victory and a comprehensive triumph. At that time, Liuan Star can start large-scale construction and transform the environment, and no longer have to worry about being destroyed by the enemy. Seeing Zhao Mengying's head drooping slightly, Chen Mou couldn't help but stretch out his hand to rub her hair. Well, It feels pretty good. Full triumph, will this day really come? Zhao Mengang's eyes lit up. The victory on Liu Iron Star was only a partial victory and had little impact on the overall situation. A complete victory would mean the defeat of all fronts in Qingyang territory. Chapter 344, The Civet of Family, Ancestor Scott. Chen Mou left. Before leaving, he did not attack the Qingyang domain base on Liu Iron Star. Chen Mou could destroy the entire base again, but there was no need. After the base was destroyed, according to the usual character of Qingyang domain, they would definitely send a stronger army to retaliate. But Chen Mou had left by then, and Zhao Wenlin and others might not be able to resist. It would be a better choice to keep the Qingyang domain base and maintain a balance. This is called fighting without breaking. The forbearance at this moment is just to accumulate more power and wait for the rise. Chen Mou did not take the Haiyan Metro with him, but left it here on Liu Iron Star. After a year of development, the amount of antimatter produced by Huaki country has increased a little, and the energy system of the entire metro has been filled. Yangshu Star. Christine came out of the state of cultivation, opened her smart eyes, and looked at the old man who was motionless on the side, like a dead tree. Ancestor, I heard that Chen Mou has been on the front line for a few days. How is the situation? This old man is the domain master in Christine's family. He is of a very high generation. Christine doesn't know how to address him, so she can only call him the ancestor. The old man named Scott finally moved a little and said in a hoarse voice, "Why are you paying attention to this matter? Don't care about these things, practice well, you will be the hope of our Ziwata family." Christine said, "Ancestor, I also want to fight on the front line." Scott said weakly, "No, your name has been registered in Qingyang domain. If you rush to the front line, I'm afraid you will be sniped immediately. It's too dangerous." Did Chen Mou also go to the front line? Isn't he more dangerous? Scott shook his head. "I know that you always love to compete with others. You have been the first without suspense since you were a child, but don't compare with Chen Mou this time. His mystery and strength are beyond your imagination." Christine also knew that there was indeed some gap between her and Chen Mou, and she would not deceive herself. But Christine still insisted, "The gap can be made up, I may not have no chance to catch up." Scott understood the psychology of his junior. She has always been gifted, but she was suddenly suppressed by someone, so she would not accept it. To be honest, Scott was also very unhappy, but he felt that Christine had no chance to get back. "I heard that Chen Mou had just rushed to the front line and encountered 2 sniper attacks from Qingyang territory, but he resolved them all with strange means. One of them was even the territory lord himself, but he failed to stop him." Scott said, "I know you don't have this ability, so in order to ensure safety, you must practice to the middle or even high level of the saint before you can rush to the front line." In fact, if possible, Scott even hoped that Christine would practice to the territory lord before coming out, but I think Christine would not agree. Besides, the war situation is tense now, and Christine can't be allowed to stay in seclusion and not ask about worldly affairs. "Okay then." Christine agreed. It was not because of the majesty of the ancestor, but a rational decision after careful consideration. "But I was a little depressed after all. Am I really not as good as Chen Mou?" Christine suddenly asked, "Grandpa, do you think Chen Mou can be called a hero?" "I don't know whether he's a hero or not, but if he grows up smoothly in this war, he will become a major concern for the Xingyu Federation and our Ziwata family in the future." Scott always spoke weakly. He was too old, so old that he couldn't remember his age. He didn't know how long he could live. Therefore, Scott was eager to cultivate a younger generation who could support the Ziwata family after his death. The Scott family is not without saints, but there is still a gap in status between the saint family and the domain master family. There are many geniuses in the family, but only Christine has the hope of becoming a domain master. A major concern. Christine's heart trembled. It seems that the ancestor of her family is very afraid of Chen Mou. What do the Federation, Tuka Empire and Rukal think? Christine asked. There are ideas, but no actions. Chen Mou didn't practice peacefully in the rear, but ran to the front line. The result we most hope for is that he and Qingyang territory will both suffer losses, so that we can save trouble. The battlefield is treacherous and unpredictable. Even if you have some means, it cannot guarantee absolute safety. If things don't go as expected and Chen Mou grows up smoothly, it will be troublesome. If he can practice to a level beyond the realm of the domain master, or even not so high, Just practice to the high level of the domain master. I'm afraid that the situation of the four powers will not be divided in the future, and Huaki Kingdom will have the final say. Scott's eyes were dim. It was too early to say this now. Maybe we won't see that situation in half a century. However, leaders should not only plan for the moment, but should make plans early and think about eternity. What should we do? Christine was very perceptive. She also figured out what would happen if someone jumped out to break the situation when the four powers were restraining each other. Scott said expressionlessly, "This matter is not easy to handle. Our Federation's hope now is you. If you can compete with Chen Mou, then we will be two strong powers. If not, well, let me think about it. If we can't beat him, then join him, or we can say it's a strong alliance." Strong alliance. Christine blinked her sky blue eyes slightly, looking a little confused. If you and Chen Mou form an alliance, our Federation and Huaki country will work together to bully other countries. Would that be better? Scott said, "Of course, this will benefit our Civita family even more. I've investigated. Chen Mou comes from an ordinary family. Such families generally don't have high demands. I'm afraid a few $100 million in cash and a few manors and mansions will satisfy them. By uniting, our Civita family will actually gain more benefits." Looking at Scott's serious analysis, Christine's fair face turned red, and she couldn't help but said, "Ancestor, Chen Mou already has a girlfriend. So what?" Scott didn't care. "With your looks and talent, are you afraid that you can compete? Just snatch Chen Mou away. His girlfriend's looks are not inferior to mine, and her talent is also extremely high. I'm afraid I can't snatch her away," Christine said, and was suddenly stunned. "Why am I saying this? I don't like Chen Mou, and I don't plan to snatch her away. That's indeed a bit troublesome." Scott fell into thought. Do you want to share it with that person? It's not impossible, but it's a bit too cheap for this kid Chen Mou. Ancestor, stop, stop, stop. I don't have any feelings for Chen Mou. You'd better give up this plan. I want to continue practicing. I don't believe I will be worse than Chen Mou. Christine quickly stopped Scott's crazy ideas. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 345, 10 Years, continued. 10 years later. In the midst of war, Chen Mou rushed to the front line, and it has been 10 years. 10 years of time, 10 years of tempering, 10 years of wind and rain, 10 years, and 10 more. In these 10 years, Chen Mou has no idea how much blood has been stained on his hands. His realm has also been promoted from the initial stage of saint to the high stage of saint. Chen Mou is not very satisfied with this promotion speed, but the outside world is shocked. Chen Sheng. General Chen. Chen Mou returned to a military base built on the front line, and people greeted him from time to time on the way. This base is on the surface of a planet, and war weapons are all over the planet. The number and degree of advancement of weapons are far from comparable to Liu Ein Star. There are no civilians on the planet. The weakest are miracle masters, and there are a lot of lost scholars. Except for the base here, all places have been reduced to ruins in the war, and no grass grows. 10 years of fighting, a breath of iron and steel lingering on Chen Mou. He nodded gently in response, his face slightly tired. The long battle made Chen Mou feel a little tired. Here at the front, conflicts may occur every day, and we must remain highly vigilant. If a war breaks out, no need to say much, just act. Kill. In the past 10 years, Chen Mou has witnessed batches of people leaving. Some retired, some could not bear the intensity of the battles on the front line and applied for rotation to the rear. Some also passed away forever. Chen Mou returned along the path of the lounge. After he left, there were still some whispers in the rear. Chen Sheng has completed the mission and is back, right? That's for sure. He does it himself and rarely fails. It is said that Chen Sheng has been on the front line for 10 years. I've only been here for 2 years, and I feel like I can't stand it. I can barely tolerate the high intensity of the battle, but I can see my comrades die in front of me in every battle, which is unbearable. So some people say, don't communicate too deeply with your comrades, and don't make friends on the battlefield, otherwise you will go crazy when your best friends die in front of you. Of course I know this. Don't worry, if you die in front of me, I won't shed a single tear. Fuck you, get out of here. Speaking of which, Chen Sheng's majesty is getting deeper and deeper, and his cultivation is now unfathomable. Under the starry sky, he is almost invincible. I'm afraid only the domain lord can suppress him. The Qingyang domain has long hated him, but it's a pity that the domain lord on the opposite side has fought several times and couldn't do anything to Chen Sheng. In addition to Chen Mou, Su Dao, Chen Kai, Lin Sijin, Lin Chuanzhou and others have also applied to be transferred to the front line. Although they were not as long as Chen Mou, who had been fighting for 10 years, they were also veterans. They were also transferred here after breaking through to the Supreme Saint. Now, after experiencing the baptism of war, their realm has been promoted to the middle stage of the Saint. Francis of the Star Moon Federation, Bradrick of the Tuka Empire, Yusuk Rukal and others were also transferred to the frontline positions of their respective countries to share the pressure. As for Christine, she came a little late. After breaking through to the middle stage of the Supreme Saint, she practiced some life-saving secrets before rushing to the frontline battlefield. Now, Christine has broken through to the high stage of the Supreme Saint, and her cultivation speed is far beyond that of ordinary people, only slightly slower than Chen Mou. In fact, Chen Mou had long known that her physique was somewhat special. She was a fairy spirit body, which could communicate with the heaven and earth and was naturally suitable for cultivation. Generally speaking, when fighting at the same level, Chen Kai's physique is stronger, and the devouring combat body is suitable for fighting. But the fairy spirit body is cultivated very quickly, and can often suppress the devouring combat body in terms of realm. There are pros and cons to both. Chen Mou feels that Daoan's combat body is stronger. After all, it is a rare physique in the entire universe, with surging combat power and the hope of becoming a god. The immortal body is a little worse, but it is also a top physique in the universe. The strongest sex are very happy to accept it. There was a knock on the door, and Chen Mou walked to the door with some doubts. Who could it be? Usually when he comes back from a mission, everyone will consciously let him rest and will not disturb him. Chen Mou needs to rest, not because he is too tired physically or mentally, but to just his boredom. After experiencing too many battles, Chen Mou is a little bored. He raised his hand to open the door, and a person who made Chen Mou a little unexpected stood in front of the door. She was dressed in military uniform, with a slender waist and a jade-like face, still with a hint of girlish innocence. She is Lin Chuanzhou. Why are you here? Chen Mou was a little surprised. The war zone where Lin Chuanzhou was located was not on this planet. Of course, the two are not too far apart. Chen Mou will occasionally visit, but because of the urgent military situation, the number of visits is not many. Why, you're not welcome. Lin Chuanzhou laughed, and her carefree attitude made Chen Mou feel a little impressed by her strong mentality. If you really count, she is already over 30 this year, but her mentality is still quite young, not troubled by the war. Welcome, welcome, come in and sit down. Chen Mou quickly made an invitation gesture, blocking the guest in front of the door, but it was not very polite. This house is so narrow, I won't go in and sit down, let's go out for a walk. Lin Chuanzhou glanced at Chen Mou's house, frowned and shook his head. In fact, the houses in various places on the front line are similar, simple and narrow. It's okay as long as it's strong enough to live in. No matter how luxurious it is, it may be directly turned into ruins after a battle. Why bother with it? That's fine. Chen Mou naturally had no objection. The two walked out of the base and walked aimlessly on this planet. What they saw was ruins. The environment of this planet is actually very harsh. Even if there is no war, it is not suitable for living creatures to survive. It's just that its strategic location is more important, and both humans and Qingyang domain want to occupy it. Nowadays, humans are on the upper hand and have firmly controlled this territory. There is only a small base on the planet, but various defense lines, strongholds, and weapons are spread all over the planet. Despite the harsh environment, Chen Mou's spirit was lifted up. Walking with different people, he felt different. Over the years, I feel that you have changed a little. How should I put it? You have become more mature and stable. Unfortunately, the feeling of a girl has faded. Chen Mou said half-jokingly. Lin Chuan rolled his eyes at Chen Mou. Time is unforgiving. I am 35 years old now. How can I still feel like a girl? I feel a little like an ant. Do you feel it? Chen Mou. It's not that serious. Chen Mou smiled lightly, vaguely remembering the scene when the two were 18 years old and met in Xinghu school. You haven't changed much, but your momentum has become more fierce. Also, I feel that your mentality is a little strange. Lin Chuan said. In terms of mentality, I am indeed a little tired, but it's not a big problem. I can adjust. After all, Chen Mou has many years of future memories, and his mentality is still relatively strong. Chapter 346, Transition Plan, 2-in-1. On the deserted mountain road, Chen Mou and Lin Chuanzuo walked together. Under the shadow of war, they found a sense of peace and tranquility. The beauty was as beautiful as jade, tall and slender. Time had not left any marks on her. Except for the change in temperament, everything else was the same as before. I'll treat you. Lin Chuanzuo showed a playful smile, stretched out her white and tender palm, and pressed it on Chen Mou's back. Chen Mou was a little surprised by her behavior, and then he felt a warm current flowing into his body. This warm current had a strange magic that soothed his mood. The feeling of boredom disappeared, leaving only a feeling of peace and tranquility. What is this? Chen Mou was puzzled. Lin Chuanzuo said, have you forgotten that I once treated your injuries? I have a special ability to heal injuries. Mental trauma is also an injury. Chen Mou remembered that this came from Lin Chuanzuo's special physique, a physique that Chen Mou had never seen before. No wonder he was a little affected by the war, but Lin Chuanzuo's mentality was still very good. Psychological trauma is also a wound. I haven't thought about this. It seems that you can work part-time as a military psychologist, specializing in treating psychological problems. That won't work. I only treat people I know. Lin Chuanzuo shook his head hurriedly. My ability is not unlimited. If it consumes too much, it will take some time to recover. There are too many people. Can I treat them all? That's true. Chen Mou said. If there were no restrictions, Lin Chuanzuo could be a little expert in saving the dying and healing the wounded. Whether it is physical injuries or psychological problems, he can treat them. The two chatted all the way, and time passed unknowingly. Lin Chuanzuo stopped. It's almost time. I have to go. Goodbye. Well, goodbye. Good luck. Chen Mou took out his mobile phone and looked at the time, and then he realized that 3 hours had passed. Lin Chuanzuo did not leave immediately, hesitating, as if he wanted to say something but stopped. Do you have anything else to say? Chen Mou said. Lin Chuanzuo's eyes, like the bright morning stars, looked directly at Chen Mou. We are good friends, right? Of course. Yet, Chen Mou, you must be nice to my sister, otherwise I won't let you go. Lin Chuanzuo tried his best to act fierce, but the effect was not good. Instead, he looked a little cute and a little funny. Chen Mou didn't understand why Lin Chuanzuo suddenly brought up this topic. He replied, you can rest assured about this. I have nothing more to say. Goodbye. Lin Chuanzuo's figure floated in the air and drifted away. Goodbye. Chen Mou waved her arms gently on the ground, and she didn't look back. Qingyang Domain Headquarters. The Great Hall of Meeting. This is a magnificent place, covering a very wide area. One by one, the jade pillars have the momentum of supporting the sky, supporting the entire hall. One by one, the powerful men of Qingyang Domain, with a solemn and unparalleled momentum, walked into the Great Hall of Meeting. As how, what a coincidence, I didn't expect you to be able to attend this meeting. A tall woman with watery eyes looked around and found Azhao. It seemed like she was saying hello, but her words made people feel uncomfortable. Anger flashed in Azhao's eyes. Isn't this a mockery that I am not qualified to come? Looking at the other party's exquisite and protruding figure, Azhao's mood improved a little, and his face turned from gloomy to sunny. This woman's name is Miao Mu. Like Azhao, she is from a family of domain masters. She is very talented and is a famous beauty in Qingyang Domain. Look at her graceful figure, smart eyes, and most importantly, her green skin color, which looks very healthy at a glance. Azhao came up with a smile on his face. It turns out to be Sister Miao Mu. Your voice is still so beautiful, like a lark. A trace of disgust flashed in Miao Mu's eyes. This man is really thick-skinned. I mocked him, but he not only didn't feel disgusted, but also came up with a shameless face. She took 2 steps back unconsciously, and Azhao followed immediately. Stop. Miao Mu stretched out his hand and stopped between the two. Azhao, I heard that you fought against Chen Kai from the human side a few days ago, and you were beaten? It's really embarrassing for our Qingyang region. Hearing this, Azhao's already green face turned a little blue. What do you mean by beaten? I just lost a move. You can't win even if you are in my place. Depressed, Hao was not so polite when he spoke. With his outstanding talent, hard training, and the tempering of war, he finally broke through to the middle stage of the saint not long ago. Unexpectedly, in the first battle after coming out of the mountain, he did not feel proud, but was severely taught a lesson by Chen Kai. The last time Hao was beaten so hard was when he faced Chen Mou. In Hao's opinion, people with the surname Chen are not good people. Haha. Miao Mu's laughter was as clear as a silver bell. Hao, don't deceive yourself, okay? Hao smiled again. Sister Miao Mu, let's not talk about this. I heard that a new opera house was recently built on the Moor Star to relieve everyone's pressure. Why don't we go and watch it together? Hao, don't be delusional. How could I go to see an opera with you? Stay away from me now, or I won't be polite. Miao Mu's face was cold. Looking at Miao Mu's cold look, Hao's heart was burning with anger. Why are you rude to me? Are you rude here or there? Damn hooligan, you're looking for death? Miao Mu pushed out a palm, as fast as lightning, and the power of the saint burst out, instantly knocking Hao back dozens of meters and hiding a pillar. Fortunately, this hall is blessed by the Domain Master's law and is extremely solid, otherwise a palm would be enough to make the entire hall collapse and turn into ashes. Damn it, you started fighting just because you didn't agree with me, and you hit me so hard. You are the hooligan, right? Hao's face flushed, and he felt the blood boiling in his body, which was very uncomfortable. Miao Mu attacked without leaving any room for me to fight back. Fortunately, I was able to withstand the beating. If an ordinary person was hit like this, how could he survive? If I don't teach you a lesson, it seems that you really don't know your place. Hao's face darkened. Do you really think I can beat you? Do you think your last name is Chen? He walked back step by step. His might was hidden, but it gave people an invisible oppression. Why, you want to fight? Then come and try. Miao Mu stood where he was, not giving in at all, but there was a hint of guilt in his words. At this time, a tall and majestic man walked in from the gate and stood between the two of them. What are you doing? The lord of the territory summoned us to discuss matters. How can you behave like this? Miao Mu stepped forward quickly, grabbed the arm of the majestic man, and said in a slightly naive tone, Brother Zinpu, Hao is being a hooligan to me. Hao? I warn you, you'd better stay away from Miao Mu. Zinpu's eyes were like arrows, and he stared at Hao fiercely. You. Hao was so angry that his liver hurt. Why, don't you accept it? Zinpu took a step forward, his momentum was strong. The fluctuations of the lore hit Hao, knocking him away and throwing him to the ground. Zinpu was at the high level of the saint, and his talent was much higher than Hao. He was a leader among their generation, and Hao could not compete with him. The people around watched the conflict between them with interest, with a playful look on their faces. Okay, you are so cruel, I admit defeat. I will pay you back 100-fold for today's humiliation tomorrow. Hao squeezed out a few words from his teeth. Zinpu was slightly satisfied with the result and turned to leave with Miao Mu. As for the harsh words that Hao said, Zinpu didn't care at all. A dog with a broken spine dared to bark here. Damn, bitch. Hao looked at the sweet look of the two and spit in his heart. He swore that when he became successful, he must snatch Miao Mu away. It will be very interesting to see Zinpu's face at that time. I, Hao, am the invincible god of war. The victory or defeat for a while does not mean anything. The one who laughs to the end laughs the best. Chen Mou is powerful enough, but he can't do anything to me. Who are you, Zinpu? Do you really think I will obey you? Hao built up his mentality and immediately felt his confidence back. He had already overwhelmed Zinpu psychologically, and the counterattack in reality was a natural thing. In the sky around the hall, spatial fluctuations were faintly diffused, and three hazy figures emerged. Hao quickly tidied his clothes and face, trying his best to show the best spirit. These figures did not burst out too strong fluctuations, but everyone understood that they were the leaders of Qingyang Domain. That was the Domain Master. One of them was Hao's great-grandfather. However, Hao's relationship with his ancestor was not very close. He was too majestic and serious. Hao trembled in his heart every time he saw him. Hao only had this great-grandfather, but he had more than one great-grandson. Hao did not dare to complain after being bullied by Zinpu just now, but pretended to be nothing. Men must rely on their own strength to get back their place, otherwise their great-grandfathers will look down on them. Everyone in the hall said in unison, "Welcome to the Domain Master." The three Domain Masters remained silent. Since they appeared on the stage, an invisible pressure has enveloped the entire hall, making everyone feel uneasy and dare not be presumptuous. The Domain Master in the sky in front of him finally spoke, "Dear soldiers, dear comrades, you have been on the battlefield for a long time recently and have worked hard. I summoned you here today mainly for an important matter." As soon as the words fell, a strong spiritual wave burst out, sweeping across the entire hall. This spiritual wave was not offensive, but mainly transmitted information. Jump plan, open up the space node. One person received the information and couldn't help but be shocked. "Yes, the war between us and humans has dragged on for too long." Another Domain Master said, "In fact, humans cannot compare with our Qingyang domain in strength, but they have the advantage of home field and have been fighting a war of attrition with us. We came here on an expedition, too far away from our ancestral land, and we must use jump technology to cross the long distance. Jumping consumes a huge amount of energy and has many restrictions, making it difficult to transport large war machines. Over the years, scientists in our ancestral land have been insisting on conducting space technology research. Now we have finally made a breakthrough. In theory, we can open up space nodes and transmit personnel, materials, and war weapons directly from our ancestral land. This move is a one-time solution. If the plan succeeds, it will definitely exterminate humans in an instant." The Domain Master, who has always been calm, could not hide his joy in his words. They have wasted too long, and humans have dragged Qingyang domain into the quagmire of war. Fight, of course, but dare not fight with all their strength, otherwise it will only be a lose-lose situation, and both sides will perish. If they retreated, it would be even worse. Qingyang territory had been fighting for many years, and had invested countless manpower and material resources, which even shook the foundation of the country. After retreating, who would be responsible for the loss of manpower and material resources? After many years of fighting, the economy of Qingyang territory had almost regressed by 100 years, and the losses were huge. But if they won, everything would be worth it. Taking over all the resources of the Jinwu galaxy would be enough to make up for the deficit of Qingyang territory, and even make Qingyang territory advance by 200 years. What is more valuable is the civilization and scientific and technological achievements of various countries in the Jinwu galaxy. If they can absorb them and learn from each other's strengths and weaknesses, it will be an opportunity for Qingyang territory's technology to take off again. Your task is to cooperate with the establishment of space nodes according to the technical requirements of the ancestral land. Remember, the confidentiality level of this matter is top secret, and no one is allowed to disclose it, otherwise it will be dealt with according to military law and killed without mercy. The words of the Domain Master echoed in the hall. Those who are qualified to be summoned here are all above the realm of saints, and now they are all shocked when they hear the words. This matter is of great importance, but if it succeeds, their contribution will definitely be great. I will follow the orders of the Domain Master. I will follow the orders of the Domain Master. Everyone agreed. Well, you guys hurry to the selected location and start planning. The figures of the three Domain Masters gradually blurred and disappeared. As for the location and specific implementation methods of the plan, they had already been conveyed in their spiritual consciousness. More detailed content was up to them to play. Okay, I must do this beautifully. Azhao laughed, his figure flashed a few times, and he disappeared in an instant. He was assigned to be in charge of one of the projects. This was not difficult in Azhao's eyes. He only needed to make occasional efforts and let the team below do the work. The lower level people do the work, and the higher level people only need to manage people. More importantly, it is necessary to improve one's own cultivation. Cultivation is the foundation of everything. Azhao is still thinking about counterattacking and slapping Zinpu in the face. This guy has only practiced a few more years than me. It's nothing great. With my talent, Azhao, I will catch up soon. By then, we will establish a space node, make contributions, and Qingyang territory will defeat the human race and return victorious. And I, Azhao, will also be promoted, practice hard, and reach the peak of my life. When I am promoted to the Domain Master, I will see how I will step on you. Azhao fantasizes about a bright future and feels happy. On the other side, Tang Jianan frowned. Why do I feel a little uneasy recently? Tang Jianan thought about it. Maybe the decisive battle is coming, but it doesn't matter. The situation has been getting better and better recently, and he is confident that he can win this war. Chapter 347, Battle. In a secret office on the front line, Tang Jianan looked through the information that was recently sent to him, and then glanced at the computer screen in front of him, and couldn't help frowning. A few days ago, Tang Jianan felt a little uneasy, so he paid extra attention to the dynamics on the battlefield these days, trying to find out if there was anything wrong. After a few days of attention, Tang Jianan really found something wrong. That is, there was no major change in the battlefield recently. Everything was the same as before. In the past, Qingyang domain would do something weird every few days, but now it is so honest. The word honest does not mean that Qingyang domain will not fight. They have also attacked recently, but the offensive method is still the same old way, which is completely unoriginal. Am I overthinking? Tang Jianan shook his head and laughed, feeling that he had been too suspicious recently. Is being honest also a mistake? If I tell my suspicions to others, I am afraid that other countries will laugh at me. Tang Jianan put the information down. I had decided to put the matter aside, but after half an hour, Tang Jianan still felt a little uncomfortable. So he focused on studying the information collected by Hua Qigo about the personnel transfer in Qingyang domain. There have been some personnel transfers in Qingyang domain recently, but it is reasonable and nothing can be seen. The intelligence information collected by Hua Qigo is actually not comprehensive. The personnel transfers in Qingyang domain are extremely secretive and it is not easy to collect intelligence. In addition, the various technicians and saints summoned by Qingyang domain to implement the jump plan were not transferred together, but went in batches. Personnel transfers in Qingyang domain often occur, and nothing can be seen from this information alone. Tang Jianan called his orderly, "Go and see if General Chen Mou has a mission recently. If not, ask him to come here to discuss an important matter." The orderly responded and turned away. Tang Jianan had a deep understanding that if he encountered a major event, he would not be able to discuss anything with Chen Kangsheng and Shen Li. These two people can only say the following sentences. You decide. What do you think? Who should I ask if you ask me? Therefore, Tang Jianan always makes his own decisions or discusses with a military think tank, staff and others. Only when he encounters a big event, he needs to inform the two people to show respect. In addition to discussing with the staff and others, Tang Jianan recently found another person to talk to. That is Chen Mou. This person seems to have a very good understanding of the situation on the battlefield and can often predict the enemy's moves. After about half a day, Chen Mou rushed over. Military advisor, what's the matter? Chen Mou was a little confused. Did he encounter a big event? If it was a small matter, Tang Jianan would not look for him. After all, he was also very busy. Come on, come and take a look. Tang Jianan piled a stack of information in front of Chen Mou and told him all his guesses and concerns. After speaking, Tang Jianan was a little embarrassed. After all, this worry sounded too ridiculous, and he himself didn't quite believe it. Tang Jianan was just feeling embarrassed when he saw Chen Mou flipping through the information with a serious look on his face. Tang Jianan. Why does he look more worried and concerned than me? This is unscientific. Tang Jianan feels that Chen Mou is not playing by the rules. However, Tang Jianan's mentality changed quickly. Chen Mou is so concerned, it seems that my worries are likely to be true? What's going on? Are they going to launch in advance? Chen Mou muttered. Tang Jianan was stunned. General Chen, what are you talking about? Do you see any clues? No. Chen Mou shook his head. Tang Jianan. Seeing your startled look, I thought you saw something. But I agree with you. Military advisor. The atmosphere is not right. Qingyang domain must be planning some conspiracy. Chen Mou said. Really? Tang Jianan was very happy to hear that Chen Mou actually agreed with his point of view, but there must be evidence for battlefield matters. You can't just give orders based on a feeling. So, let's sneak in here and observe the situation. Recently, there have been personnel transfers in Qingyang domain, and the personnel may be flowing to this side. Chen Mou took out an interstellar map and pointed to one of the locations. Tang Jianan did not ask Chen Mou why he had such a judgment. The two of them did what they said and set off immediately. In the void, Tang Jianan looked at the scene in the distance. The defense work of this place is unusually strict. Arriving at this position, Tang Jianan and Chen Mou could not move forward. If they go further, they will be discovered. This places the territory of Qingyang Domain, located in a relatively deep position, but on the surface, it is not a strategic location. It is located behind Qingyang Domain, difficult for humans to reach, and it is not important. Why is it tightly sealed? Tang Jianan made some judgments in his mind. There must be something wrong when things are abnormal. This place must be hiding something very important. It's a pity that he can't move forward and can't see the scene inside. If the Lord of Qingyang Domain is alarmed and besieged, he and Chen Mou will find it difficult to escape. Even so, that is enough. Tang Jianan and Chen Mou looked at each other and retreated silently. What is inside? Tang Jianan felt that Chen Mou knew something. Chen Mou shook his head gently. I can't be sure, but I once heard a piece of news from a friend that Qingyang territory has a jump plan. Tang Jianan's eyes became more and more shocked. If this is true, it would be a major event that could rewrite the battlefield situation. The friend you mentioned. He doesn't know more. Chen Mou said quickly. Okay. Tang Jianan didn't delay and immediately asked the territory lords of Xingaiyu Federation, Tuka Empire, Rukal Kingdom and other countries to meet. No one knows what was discussed at the gathering, but after that day, the atmosphere on the battlefield seemed to have become a little different. It was difficult for everyone to say what was different in specific aspects, but this feeling was real. The price of materials in the military merit system has dropped, although the drop is not much, about 8% drop. In a certain base, someone was surprised to find this. Damn, I lost money. I just exchanged a spiritual fruit the day before yesterday. Does the government support price protection? Or a 7-day refund without reason? Hurry up and buy one more now. This way, you will lose less. What you said seems to make sense, but why do I still feel something is wrong? Such scenes are happening everywhere. When everyone is happy that the price of materials has dropped and cultivation has become easier, they also have a questions in their hearts, why the price has dropped. In contrast to here, the people on planets such as Zijixing are a little depressed. The government has just announced an increase in tax rates. Chapter 348. Senior Brothers and Sisters. Li Rucheng, Lin Tanghuang, Su Honghu, Zhehefen, Ji Xing, one name after another appeared on the military merit list, shocking the whole country. Every point on the list symbolizes the glory of the past. There are also many names with brackets, and in the brackets are 3 words, killed in action. These 3 simple words can't help but make people feel sad. They used their lives to build a steel great wall for the rear. The Hall of Fame only announced this list without any further explanation, but the whole Huaki has already shared the same hatred for the enemy. I'm afraid the number of people killed on this list has reached half. The dense words of killed in action are shocking. The list is in black font, but every word seems to have been dyed red. It is stained with blood, the blood of martyrs. Support Huaki and defeat Qingyang Domain. All of us must be united and never give up a single step to win this life and death battle. The country has supported it for so many years, and it must be very short of money. I am an old man with insufficient ability, but I have to express my gratitude. A gray-haired old man counted the money he had saved recently and went out tremblingly. When everyone was boiling, a Hall of Fame order had been issued through various channels. It was not announced to the public. Only strong people above the realm of Miracle Master could receive this order. After receiving the summons, Zhehefen fell into deep thought and finally sighed. It seems that the time for the final decisive battle has come. After years of struggle, there will be a result. In this case, my old bones should also return to the battlefield and contribute the last bit of strength. The same thing happened in Mingdao University, Yanshan University, Bixun University, and other schools. There is no time to lose, let's go now. The dark clouds hanging over us must be dispelled. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Get ready to go, father, I'm here. At the headquarters of Qian Armor Company, Lin Huifang spent a day arranging various matters, notified his family, and set off on his journey. In the scientific research institution, after receiving the call, someone threw down the experimental equipment and said, I'm joining the army. Oh, no. Is this what the idiom means? Forget it, let's go. In the mountain village, someone closed the wooden door and said, after years of recuperation, my injuries are almost healed. It's time to return to the bright stars. I want to personally avenge the shame of the past. A teacher packed up his handouts and sent a message to his students to say goodbye. A company boss took off his suit, put on a suit of armor, and handed over the company's affairs. A pork stall owner packed up his stall and said, "Please go away, customers. I'm going to join the war. I won't pretend anymore. I'm going to show my cards. I'm a law scholar and selling pork is just my hobby." From all over the country, strong men set out one by one, came to the gathering point, and boarded a special interstellar spaceship to the starry sky battlefield. Xinhua Academy, the place where the trial secret realm is located. An illusory portal was opened, and the roar of beasts came out from inside. Goshawks, magic leopards, saber-toothed tigers, mammoths, one beast after another jumped out of the portal, ferocious and monstrous. These beasts are extremely large in size, with a strong breath, and a faint saint's power permeates, which makes people tremble. What's even more astonishing is that there is a human sitting on their backs, either male or female, with extraordinary looks. Looking at this posture, these saint-level beasts are actually their mounts. If Chen Mou were here, he would definitely recognize them. They were the senior brothers and sisters who had met in the Black Forest. Liang Xian, Gao Mingxuan, Wu Bingwei and others, 5 men and 5 women, a total of 10 people. Finally out, the air of Huaki country is so fresh and friendly. Liang Xian took a deep breath, a little intoxicated. Gao Mingxuan laughed. Before the goddess left, she told us to leave the Black Forest secret realm after reaching the high level of the saint. You seemed reluctant at that time. The secret realm is indeed good, but after coming out, I feel that this place is also good. Liang Xian said. I haven't been back for many years, and it's time to go back and see my family. As the few people were chatting, the teachers who stayed behind in Xinhua Academy were all startled by this overwhelming breath. What a fierce aura, not good. Could it be that a beast is attacking? That's the power of a saint. There seem to be 10 of them, 10 beasts. Who can mobilize such a strong force? The strong man from our school just left, and so many saint-level beasts came around. Could it be that King Gang Domain did it? Some people smelled the smell of conspiracy, but there was no reason. Zijixing was in the rear of the battlefield, and it was difficult for people from King Gang Domain to break through here. Let's go and take a look. Several teachers went together, all a little trembling. With their strength, facing a saint, they would probably be torn to pieces in an instant. But there was no way, they had to go. There were still many students in the school. They had to figure out the situation, so that they could make a better response. They didn't dare to get too close. They just looked at it from a very far distance, and the scene in front of them made their pupils shrink. 10 beasts, that's right, but there are people on the beasts. The aura of the beasts was radiating. They could sense it from a distance, but the aura of the 10 people was restrained, and only by seeing it with their own eyes did they know that there were people behind the beasts. How strong are these people to be able to use saint-level beasts as mounts? Just thinking about it, the teachers who came here shuddered a little. According to common sense, they should have heard of people with such high realm strength. Even if there are 1 or 2 who are relatively low-key and not well known, it is impossible that all 10 people are unfamiliar. But the reality is that they have never seen these people. Visitors from Qingyang Domain? It seems wrong. The skin of people from Qingyang Domain is green. Judging from their appearance, these are authentic Huaki people, but their clothes are a little strange. A teacher walked up bravely. Seniors, may I ask who you are? While speaking, he looked at the beasts with some concern, fearing that they would fight if they disagreed. Hello. Liang Xian bowed and responded, we are not seniors. Speaking of which, we were once students of Xinhua Academy. As he said that, Liang Xian couldn't help laughing. They had just enrolled for a few days and had not yet experienced the desirable life on the university campus, but they were trapped in the secret realm of the Black Forest. Can they be considered students of Xinhua? Others studied in college for 4 years, but they studied in college for a few days, and they haven't listened to the teacher's class yet. Xinghua's students. The teachers who came were a little confused. When did Xinghua cultivate so many strong people? They had no idea about this. We will talk while walking. Liang Xian and others drove the beast forward, thinking hard about excuses, ready to get away with it. They didn't dare to talk more about the Black Forest, which was not allowed. So that's how it is. After hearing their explanation, several teachers looked as if they had suddenly realized something, but they were thinking in their hearts that this excuse was really fucking bad. I just found out that the achievement of accumulating 30 monthly votes has been achieved. Thank you all for your votes. By the way, if you find that the chapters don't match, it's because one chapter has been blocked, which is not a big problem. Chapter 349? Concentricity. Star Wars, King Haiyan territory, is about to have a decisive battle. Along the way, Liang Xian and others talked with several teachers about the outside world and accidentally learned this heavy news. It seems that we also need to go to the battlefield and do our part for the country. Go home to visit your relatives first, and then go together. Liang Xian, Gao Mingxuan, Wu Bingwei and 10 other people made an agreement and dispersed. Huqi country's war potential was mobilized crazily. One after another, strong men went to the starry sky and were assigned to corresponding positions. Antimatter weapons, missiles, nuclear bombs, various mechas, and warships were all stepped up. Production lines turned into a torrent of war. At all costs. The same situation happened in the Xingaiyu Federation, Tuka Empire, Rukal country, and many small countries led by the 4 strongest. King Haiyan Territory Base. In a mysterious meeting hall, voices echoed, but they were confined here and did not spread out at all. This is the meeting place of the Domain Master. Huqi country and other countries have gone crazy recently, trying their best to mobilize strong men and produce weapons. Are they trying to turn the tide and challenge us in turn? They are looking for death. Do they really think that they can compete with us by mobilizing a few more people? If they take the initiative to attack, won't they give up the defensive position and many strategic defense points? I think it is possible that the jump plan has been leaked. They feel the crisis and have to fight. The advancement of the jump plan is inevitable. The site selected for construction is located in the rear of the King Haiyan domain, which is difficult to invade and destroy. Even if humans really succeed in destroying it, they cannot stop the implementation of this plan. Because materials and equipment can be destroyed, the relevant technology has been preserved. Just select a new place and continue to build. If you want to sneak in and destroy it secretly, you must send out the Domain Master, which is very risky and may not succeed. If you succeed, it can only extend the period of time and cannot fundamentally solve the problem. It seems that they have been forced into a dead end by us. A King Haiyan domain lord laughed happily. The space node has not been successfully built yet, and humans are already desperate. We do have an advantage, but we should not be careless. The other side is stepping up the production of weapons and summoning strong men. We must also start the corresponding plan. As long as they don't hide and dare to come out to fight, it will be easy. This battle will definitely destroy them all. The voices of many domain masters gradually became lower. The meeting ended, and everyone returned to their own territories and began to issue orders. The King Haiyan domain civilization and the Zhijiaxing civilization did not take action immediately, but were quietly accumulating strength. Huqi and other countries estimated the time when the space node would be built, and did not want to take action too early. They only needed to attack before the node was completed. Of course, this estimate is difficult, there are many variables, and it cannot be completely accurate, so the Zhijiaxing civilization did not dare to launch it on the timeline, and it must be launched earlier. However, the King Haiyan domain civilization is fearless, and has recently been shrinking its defense line, waiting for the Zhijiaxing civilization to attack. As long as the Zhijiaxing civilization dares to give up its defensive position and take the initiative to attack, the King Haiyan domain will immediately teach them a lesson. What a pity, the spatial node technology of King Haiyan domain has been developed in advance. Chen Mou has also been preparing for the war recently, and his mood is a bit complicated. According to future memories, this technology of King Haiyan domain should take about 2 or 3 years to be developed. Now that it is developed in advance, I think it has something to do with Chen Mou. He, a butterfly, flapped his wings and stimulated King Haiyan domain? But Chen Mou did not expect that the gently flapping wind could also blow to the ancestral land of King Haiyan domain, which is countless light years away from here. Chen Mou clenched his fist lightly. If there are another 2 years, maybe I can be promoted to the realm of Domain Master, but now the time is too late. After 10 years of fighting, Chen Mou was promoted to the high stage of Saint, but he was not promoted in the 10th year. He reached this realm in the 7th year. At this time, Chen Mou has reached the peak of the high stage of Saint, but there is still a distance from promotion. Forget it, fight as usual. Chen Mou calmed down his emotions. If it cannot be avoided, then face it. Thinking of being promoted to the realm of Domain Master and suppressing the whole scene is just a beautiful wish after all. What Chen Mou didn't know was that on the other side, Christine had the same idea. It's a pity that there is not much time left, and Chen Mou cannot be promoted to the realm of Domain Master. In the past 10 years, Chen Mou's domineering and strong have been performed in the starry sky. Christine has completely lost the idea of competing with Chen Mou, and gradually has a tendency to become a little fangirl. Every time she encounters a dilemma, Christine can't help but think that if Chen Mou faces this situation, it should not be difficult to solve it. In a blink of an eye, another half a year has passed. The Purple Pole Star Alliance finally couldn't hold back and was about to launch. The orders of various countries were issued almost at the same time. Attack! 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 Many warships and mechas flew up from various planets and gradually gathered. This scene is like the confluence of thousands of ways. Many strong men stood in the warships, with solemn expressions. After years of fighting, everyone was a little tired. This battle made them excited, afraid, and a little looking forward to it. Let everything come to an end in this battle. The Sea of Stars is vast. I wonder if there is a chance to return? I have no regrets in this battle. I just hope that my family can live in peace and tranquility. The decisive battle came faster than I thought, but it is also a good thing. Years of attrition wars have really made me a little tired and bored. This battle must be won. The only difference is whether I can keep my life. If I survive, I will go home and enjoy my old age. If I die, that's fine. I'm not as great as you, so ready to die. I'm particularly afraid of death, but I have to go. The rear is our home. I was born and raised here. If Haiyan Domain wins, everything will be gone. The low voice of communication spread in the ship, with indignation, reluctance, and simple patriotism. The emotions are different, but there is one thing in common: they all have the belief that they must win. Before embarking on the journey, the soldiers had already written their suicide notes. If they return successfully, the suicide note will be destroyed. If they are unfortunately buried in the vast starry sky, the suicide note will be handed over to their loved ones by a special person. The boundless warships gradually dispersed and opened the battle line when approaching the star field under the jurisdiction of Haiyan Domain. Huki Country, Zhengayu Federation, Tuka Empire, and Liachuan Country. The four countries are in different directions and advance and retreat together. In the past, there were many intrigues between the four countries, but at least at this moment, they are of the same mind. It was a strange feeling, a strange resonance. The only thing that pulled everyone together was the word comrade. Chapter 350, Battle breaks out. Human warships came in overwhelming numbers, attacking the base of Haiyan territory. One after another, illusory Dharma images suddenly emerged from the direction of Haiyan territory and condensed into human forms. There were 13 Dharma images in total, and they were extremely large, each as big as a planet. Ai Qing, Xin Li, Gan Feng, Wu Yan. Hatred flashed in the eyes of the humans. These 13 were all the domain masters of Haiyan territory. It was them who led the attacks and slaughters one after another. What a huge fleet! Are you rushing to die? Gan Feng's divine thoughts swept across the universe, and his words were clearly transmitted to everyone's mind. Haha. The other 12 domain masters laughed together, and the power of the domain masters swept across the starry sea, and the overwhelming momentum made the human side change color slightly. The domain masters on the human side stood out from the crowd, and their momentum was also aroused, resisting the opponent's power. Huki Guoguang has 3 domain masters, Tang Jianan, Chen Kangshen, and Shen Li. Zhengayu Federation also has 3 domain masters, and Scott of the Civita family is one of them. The Tuka Empire has 2 domain masters, namely Emperor Bulor and Iron-Blooded Prime Minister Evan. Rukal Kingdom also has 2 domain masters. One is the ruler of Rukal Kingdom, and the other is the head of a 1,000-year-old family in Rukal Kingdom. As for the small countries outside the top 4, the strongest is only a high-level saint, and there is no domain master. On the human side, there are a total of 10 domain masters, which is weaker than Haiyan Domain in terms of quantity. The fields of the domain masters of both sides collided with a bang, setting off waves of void storms. Each domain master has the power to rival the ocean. Human power is sometimes limited, but the ocean is boundless and its power never stops. The domain master has entered an inhuman realm. The domain master of Haiyan Domain took back the Dharma image. Move out. A command spread to all the planets on the front line of Haiyan Domain. The war beast of Haiyan Domain, which has unimaginable potential, awakened and began to bar its fangs to devour the world. Fighters rose up, and the strong rushed out across the sky. The lord of Haiyan territory rushed to the front and attacked with his true body. Kill. No need to say more, The blood feud between the two sides can only be washed away with blood. The 10 lords of the human side each chose an opponent. But there are 13 lords in Haiyan territory, and 3 are still unrestrained. Your opponent is me. Seeing that a lord was ready to rely on the suppression of the realm to slaughter, Chen Mou rushed forward. Haiyan Jue was running wildly, extracting energy from all directions. There is no wind in the vacuum of the universe, but the fluctuation of each particle is the source of energy for Chen Mou. The vacuum fluctuation technique also started to work, and the energy of the void is endless. After years of tempering, Chen Mou's body has become more powerful, and the trend of particleization is obvious. The body of the storm can be transformed into a flesh and blood body in a thought, and then transformed into storm particles in another thought, splitting into thousands, and easily dealing with a bombardment of power. Although it is still far from being a body of the storm, it has a lot of characteristics of being able to withstand beatings. Facing the domain lord, Chen Mou no longer held back any cards, and the power of the ancient god lighthouse was also stimulated and added to Chen Mou. Boom! Chen Mou collided with the domain lord, and violent energy fluctuations swept across the 4 directions, and both sides retreated a distance. Chen Mou? Okay, I'll kill you. The expression of the Haiyan domain lord changed, and he was a little angry. Being in the high stage of the saint, his realm is not bad, but it is a bit wishful thinking to challenge the domain lord. He moved his body, shuttled through space, and appeared beside Chen Mou in an instant. A punch was thrown, with a domineering power of suppressing the world. It was like a sea hitting his head. Chen Mou was not afraid, and urged the ancient god lighthouse to the limit of his ability, and raised his hand to meet it. I control the power of heaven and earth, and I have the power of gods, and the ocean will also be shattered for me. The two sides fought continuously, and the surrounding field had been cleared long ago, and no one dared to fight within their power range. On the other side, Liang Xian and 10 other senior brothers and sisters all attacked together, forming a strange formation to contain a domain master. 10 high-level saints, plus 10 beasts at the initial stage of saints, this force can be said to be earth-shaking. Of course, there is still no way to compete with a domain master. The other party controls the power of the ocean, which is extraordinary. However, these 20 saints formed a formation, which seemed to modify the laws of heaven and earth, and locked the domain master, making it difficult for him to play. The domain master of Haiyan domain was very depressed. What kind of strange formation was this? Obviously, his realm is higher, and he can suppress the opponent in the comprehension of the law, but now the situation is just the opposite. Go! Chen Kai, Su Dao, Lin Sichen, Lin Chuanzhou, and Christine tacitly attacked and blocked the last domain master of Haiyan domain. A year ago, among the 5 people, only Christine cultivated to the high stage of saints, and the other 4 were only at the middle stage of saints. In this year, in order to prepare for the war, the 4 of them practiced hard every day, went out to fight and sharpened their skills from time to time, and finally broke through before the war at a cost of huge resources. These 5 people are not easy to deal with. Chen Kai has a Daoyan combat body, and now he has made some progress in practicing the righteous Qiju. His fighting power is overwhelming. Su Dao has inherited the sword saint. It is not just as simple as teaching some skills. The old man in his body wants to help him grow faster and instill all his life experience into Su Dao. The amount of knowledge is too huge. After more than 10 years of hard work, Su Dao has not learned much and is still in the learning stage. When this sword saint was at the peak, he was only below the gods, so the things he taught were naturally extraordinary. If Su Dao and the Lord of Haiyan domain were in the same realm, he could kill the other party with one sword. Unfortunately, that was just an illusion. The suppression in realm is real. Su Dao now has to join forces with others to have a chance of winning. These 2 people, as the main attackers, share most of the pressure, and the other 3 people contain an assist. Lin Sichen and Lin Chuanzhou also learned the sea swallow secret. Their fighting power is equally strong. Although they are not as strong as Chen Kai and his men, the difference is not far. There is also Christine. She was promoted the earliest and her realm is a little higher than the 4 people. Moreover, her immortal body is not only useful in cultivation, but also has a certain blessing for combat. The domain masters of Haiyan domain are a little depressed. They thought they could suppress the other party directly with the power of the domain master, but how come so many strange beings appeared on the human side? Not only Haiyan domain was shocked, but the human side was also surprised. Except for Christine, all the people who restrained the remaining 3 domain masters of Qingyang domain were from Huoqi country. Huoqi country usually does not show its strength, but finally broke out its leadership level strength at the critical moment. In the starry sky, various strong men and warships also collided and exchanged fire with each other. Miracle masters and law scholars can move in the vacuum of the universe. They have strong bodies and can draw the power of heaven and earth to bless themselves. They can survive without oxygen. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.